news. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show indeed. A very good morning to you. I'm Zoe Brown and we're going to be keeping you entertained from now all the way through till 9 o'clock. It is your Health Focus Tuesday today, and of course yesterday marked World Contraception Day with a focus on contraceptive knowledge and family planning. Now, while the topic is often considered as a taboo in certain cultures, we are opening up that conversation for young and old with gynecologist and obstetrician Dr. Jason Bennett and Dr. Kate Chambers. They are joining us in studio today for a bit of a panel discussion. And on another note, did you know that in South Africa, about 4 million girls between the ages of 12 and 19 have little to no access to sanitary products? Now, that is a very scary statistic. Well, now we enter Lene Lowe into this conversation, a teenage girl who in fact has teamed up with Laura Hoffman, a youth leader at the Tygerberg Seventh-day Adventist Church, with the goal of raising enough money to buy girls reusable pads through the project called StreetWise. An absolutely incredible initiative, and I think it's something that everyone should get behind. But before we get all the official duties underway, let's say good morning to Katlego.
Some inspiring stories there, Zoe Brown. A very good morning to you. Yes, indeed, Katlego Maboy, reporting for duty, and as always, it's so good to be in your company. Thanks for joining us at the start of this Tuesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And yes, we do head on over to our social media platforms where we hope to engage you in meaningful and insightful conversation. It is your insights that we would like to hear. And of course, you can send us voice notes on 063-408-8863 on the question and the conversation of the day, which is all around contraceptives, which are sometimes a taboo conversation in different cultures and religions. And so, what is your opinion on contraceptives? We would absolutely love to hear it. If you are commenting on our social media platforms, of course, use hashtag Expresso Show so that we can track your comments, but otherwise you're welcome to send us through or send us a voice note through to that number 063-408-8863. It's going to be a health-inspired and very engaging kind of Tuesday. Let's get it underway by taking a look at what is making news headlines. Here's Zoe.
Thank you, Kat. Starting off with national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has conceded that the government will not eliminate the current massive rolling blackouts in this short term. In his letter to the nation, he says, however, the government's goal is to reduce the frequency and severity of the blackouts in the immediate term. Ramaphosa says there is an end in sight to the electricity crisis as government is making progress in the implementation of additional measures that he announced in July this year. Staying with local news, the Department of Human Settlements in Cape Town will extend its working hours this week as part of the Public Service Month. This means that residents with housing inquiries can visit the department's offices in Wales Street every day until Friday, and that will be until 7:30 in the evening. The department says it will help residents solve numerous housing issues and also obtain information about available subsidies. People can also inquire about housing waiting lists, residents' disputes, tenders, and the registration of business enterprises. Moving to news abroad, the International Monetary Fund confirmed on Sunday that a staff team is visiting Ghana this week to continue discussions with the authorities on policies and reforms that could be supported by an IMF lending arrangement. Ghana turned to the IMF for help in July as its balance of payments deteriorated and hundreds took to the streets in protest against economic hardship. An IMF staff team brief visited the country a fortnight later. The IMF said the team would stay until October 7th. And the death toll after a shooting incident at a school in the city of Izhevsk in Russia has risen to 15. 11 of the victims were children, 24 people were wounded. The attacker, who was in his 30s, is a former pupil of the school. He committed suicide after the attack. The Kremlin labeled it a terrorist attack and said the Russian President Vladimir Putin was deeply shocked. The attacker allegedly had ties with neo-Nazi organizations. He was wearing a T-shirt with a swastika on it during the attack. And the weather appears to be playing along. Health regulations are relaxed, so folks can move around as they wish, and schools are closing on Friday. The general picture is looking very good for tourism, as well as it's Heritage Month, and that's a major boost for it. So bringing it back home, Wahida Parker, the managing director of the Table Mountain Aerial Cableway Company, says tourists are increasingly descending on the mother city. Some 5,000 landed daily at the airport prior to the Rugby World Cup Sevens. And wonderful news is that the annual maintenance on the cableway have been completed, and people are again welcome to use one of the country's most iconic and Africa's leading tourist attraction to take them up Table Mountain, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that's steeped in history and symbolism. The Khoisan, the indigenous people of the Cape, Table Mountain was known as the Hurikwaha, meaning mountain in the sea. It's a major tourist attraction that draws thousands of international tourists and local visitors, and it is, in fact, one of the new 7 wonders of nature. Well, on that very positive note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a first look at your sport with Katlego.
Thanks very much, Zoe. Let's kick things off in the footballing world, where Italy clinched a place in the Nations League Final Four, this with a 2-0 win away to Hungary, thanks to goals by Giacomo Raspadori and Federico Di Marco. Now, the European champions finished top of their group on 11 points from 6 games. They joined Croatia and the Netherlands in next year's finals in the tournament. And this while Spain and Portugal will play in Braga tonight for the last spot available. That should be quite a tie. Now, elsewhere, England and Germany played to an entertaining 3-3 draw. England fighting back from 2-0 down to lead 3-2, only for Kai Havertz to level with his second goal of the match. And this after Luke Shaw, Raheem Sterling and Mason Mount all found the back of the net for the hosts. In cricketing news, England's women's captain, Heather Knight, has accused India of lying about giving tail-ender Charlie Dean warnings before her controversial run-out in the third one-day international between the sides. Now, the home side were chasing victory at Lord's on Saturday when India bowler Deepti Sharma dismissed Dean, who was well out of her ground. Now, running out a non-striker backing up is allowed under cricket's rules, but has long been regarded as unsporting by many within the game. Deepti said on Monday that India had repeatedly warned Dean for stealing ground by backing up and was adamant they had done nothing wrong. Moving now over to the boxing world, where WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury has called off his proposed Battle of Britain bout with Anthony Joshua, saying his compatriot had not signed the contract before Monday's deadline. Now, Fury had challenged Joshua earlier on this month, saying he would come out of retirement to defend his title in December, a challenge that Joshua accepted. Joshua's 258 management and promoter Matchroom Boxing had said they had accepted all terms presented to us by Fury's team, but agreed to hold all communication due to the death of Queen Elizabeth. Fury said he would still fight on the 3rd of December if the Joshua fight fell through. And now world record holder and twice London Marathon champion Brigid Kosgei has been forced to withdraw from Sunday's race due to a minor hamstring injury. Kosgei, who won the London Marathon in 2019 and 2020, was one of the favourites going into the event. She also won the Tokyo Marathon earlier this year after a silver medal at the Olympics last year. Kosgei set a world record time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 4 seconds in Chicago in 2019. Well, here's to wishing the world champion a speedy recovery. But that's it for the sports roundup. We'll take another look at 7 o'clock right now. Here's a first look at what's happening with the weather all around the country.
Thank you, Kat. And we start off with some news abroad. The US Space Agency is pulling the Artemis 1 moon rocket off the launch pad in Florida because of an approaching hurricane. The SLS, known as the Space Launch System vehicle, will be rolled back into its engineering workshop. This because Hurricane Ian is moving through the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to make landfall in Florida on Thursday. In Florida, residents are stockpiling supplies and filling sandbags. High winds and heavy rains are expected, in fact forecasted, for the Kennedy Space Center, and NASA can't risk a multi-billion-dollar rocket being damaged. NASA has hoped the storm track through the Gulf would take it sufficiently westwards for the rocket to stay out on the pad, enabling a liftoff to take place sooner. But the forecasts in recent hours have put the west coast of Florida directly in the firing line. Florida governor has already declared a state of emergency. Artemis 1 is the first in a series of missions that will eventually see humans return to the lunar surface after an absence of 50 years. Well, we now turn our attention from hurricane news to your sunrise views. And first up, we received this picture from Gqeberha, sent in by Eugene. And look at that bright fireball in the distance, lighting up the morning sky with giving it a big orange glow. Then Amir showcased these fluffy clouds this morning all the way from Harare in Zimbabwe, our neighbors. Melvin Smith shared this bright pink sky with a bit of orange peeking through, snapped in Weinberg. And Brad Bennett shared this view of the overcast clouds this morning as the sun peeks through from behind the clouds above the ocean. This picture was from Umkomas. And finally, we have this one that was sent in by Chantal, and this is in Lucia, KZN. Just look at the purple and violet sky. Absolutely beautiful. Well, if you have a sunrise view that you'd love to share with us, please do so on 063 408 8863. We welcome pictures and sunrise videos. But let's get into your temperatures for today. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 14, a high of 32. Mbombela, 1929. Pretoria, 1932. Johannesburg, your low is 15, your high 30 for today. Mahikeng, 1834. Klerksdorp, 1735. Kimberley, 1631. If you're in Bloemfontein, 14 is your low, 30 your high for today. Richards Bay, 20 with a high of 27. Pietermaritzburg, 1724. Rain can be expected in Durban, 22 with a high of 26. Mthatha, 1622. East London, 18 with a high of 20. Partly cloudy conditions in Cradock, 14 is your low, 29 your high. Gqeberha, 17 with a high of 29. George, 12, reaching a high of 20. Sunny conditions in Cape Town, 10 is your low, 19 your high. Worcester, 624. Sutherland, 5 with a high of 20. And Uppington, expect a low of 17 and a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Well, that's your temperatures for today. We'll bring you another recap shortly after 7.
All right, thanks, Zoe. Sounds like the weather is doing the things that make the pots and the fashion to be done. In fact, it's time to shake up your style this summer with a range of flattering essentials, all from Woolies, and they have a beautiful resort collection. It's a collection that is dedicated to being ready for those much-anticipated beach and pool days. And because today is a Tuesday, we have a little situation on our hands. Come in here, Zoe. We need you to be dressed in one of these, but of course, you don't get the choice.
I don't get
Everyone
the choice.
Out there does.
You get the choice. And I mean, look at these beautiful options.
You like?
I love yellow. I feel like yellow is one of my
I was going to ask if that's your color.
That is one of my colors. And I mean, just to talk you through these different options. This is option 1. It is a dress that has a tie back. It is a tie back midi dress. So look at that.
Lovely.
At the back, it's got a cute little bow that you get to tie, and it just adds a cute little detail. Obviously, you'll tie it into a bow. So that is option 1. And of course, it's made from pure cotton, and it really gives you a beautiful summer flair. And we'll pair it with some beautiful brown platform shoes. And then option 2 is there next to Katlego. This is a yellow blouse that features a split neck. It is also paired with some embroidery Anglaise shorts for a chic and charming summer look. And the cool thing about that shirt is it's supposed to be oversized, so you get that whole loose, flowy, trendy look. You tuck it into the pants.
I've seen you in dresses like this. I haven't seen you in an outfit like this before. Would you rock this?
I would. I mean, for me, I'm more drawn to the color
Right,
So
right.
anyone you choose, I'll be happy with.
Okay, fantastic stuff. So the choice is all yours. Head on over to our Expresso social media pages to vote for your favorite look, and don't forget to include hashtag Styled by Woolies. And let's see how we style Zoe on this Tuesday.
I've been vibing, yeah. Me and my folks all good, that sun is shining. Ay, chillin' with my feet kicked up like I ain't trying. Yeah, this is what I want, a summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. This is what I want, a summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. Vibes right here, 100, yeah.
Only you can make my day.
James is on a long overdue holiday, all because he chose to invest in an electronic Optimum Plus account.
Yes, seriously.
Be like James. Open a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account and get an effective interest rate of up to 12.4%.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso here on S3. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. As you know, Tuesdays are all about health, and we shed some light on what happened yesterday, which marked World Contraception Day, with a focus on contraceptive knowledge and family planning. It's a global campaign held annually to shed light on birth control methods by asserting the importance of reproductive health. And contraceptives are, of course, sometimes a bit of a taboo conversation or topic in different cultures and religions. And so we would would love to know from you, what is your opinion on contraceptives? You are welcome to send us those voice notes on 063 408 8863. And this morning, here to talk to us about contraception are gynecologists and obstetricians, Dr. Jason Bennett and Dr. Kate Chambers. It's great to have both of you here so early in the morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Excited to be here.
Let me start off with you first, Dr. Chambers. Perhaps you could address the very simple, definitive question of what exactly is contraception? When we talk about contraception, what are we referring to as a concept and an idea?
Sure. So contraception is essentially a method or a medication that helps us to prevent falling pregnant. So it helps us to plan our families, know when we're going to have our babies, prevent unwanted pregnancies, essentially. Because we all know that at the moment, with everything that's going on in the world, there's a lot of topic around it. And in South Africa, we've got freely acceptable and freely available contraception, which helps us prevent unwanted pregnancies, which then in turn helps prevent unwanted maternal morbidity and mortality.
Indeed.
I think also it's important to say that contraception is also a very powerful tool that women have these days and that families have these days, that it gives them a little bit more control over their lives, so they can choose when to have a baby, and having a planned pregnancy is a really great thing. It has a lot of benefits.
Absolutely. Dr. Bennett, talk to me about the more common forms of contraception that are out there.
There are many different contraceptive forms. I think contraception has been around since ancient times. It's only...
How long has it been now? Since the...
Thousands of years.
Yeah.
Just different forms. But it's only kind of now in the 20th century that there are more very good ways of contraception, or good ways to prevent a pregnancy.
Yes.
And it can range from medications, it can range from devices, such as something that goes inside the uterus, an implant that goes under the skin of the arm. It can range from surgical methods, and also just sexual practices, and kind of what we call natural methods of contraception.
Yeah.
So there's a vast array of contraceptives, and it's important to always think that not one method fits everyone, and everyone has to kind of find what fits them the best and what works for them, exactly. And so we find a lot of people come in and one contraceptive method doesn't work for them, and we change to another method. We have a whole host of methods to choose from.
Absolutely. And ironically, with all of these methods of contraception that are available to us, there's this word, or this phrase that is synonymous with contraception, the pill. I mean, there are so many pills in the world that when you talk about the pill, people know exactly what it is that you're talking about. But not too often is it understood how the pill actually works. So, Dr. Chambers, can you explain that to us? Maybe Dr. Bennett?
Well, yeah, the pill, as you said, it's the pill. It is a pill that contains some chemicals, all right? And these chemicals are usually estrogen and progesterone, okay? And it has a few kind of mechanisms that it works. The main mechanism is that it stops an egg from being released from the ovary. Okay, so the sperm therefore cannot meet the egg. There are a few other mechanisms. It makes the mucus of the cervix much thicker. So that's kind of the mucus at the entrance to the uterus. So sperm kind of cannot swim easily into the cervix.
Right.
Like sperm swimming through mud instead of swimming through water.
Right.
If that makes sense. Also, it makes the lining of the uterus thin, so a fertilized egg battles to implant into the actual uterus. So there are a few mechanisms that it works.
Yeah, and with so much efficacy and so much usage that the pill and contraceptions have, but more specifically the pill, why does it have such a negative connotation? Why does it have such a negative rap in the world?
I think it's over the years things have changed and people are becoming more conscious of the word hormones. And obviously the pill has hormones in it, so it's got estrogen and progesterone. And as people are becoming more natural and wanting to go the more natural processes, they're a bit afraid of putting exogenous or outside hormones into their bodies. What I think people need to realize is that the hormones that we use are pretty natural for your body. Your body's used to having estrogen and progesterone in it. And we would never use something that's bad for you or, dangerous for you. And there are plenty of benefits. The pill doesn't only, and I think a lot of people don't know this, but the pill doesn't only help with contraception. It also helps to treat certain conditions like polycystic ovarian syndrome, acne, so skin conditions, irregular bleeding, painful, heavy periods. So it's not only we're using it to just stop having a baby. We're using it for other methods as well.
Absolutely. So maybe that would help change the mindset a little bit when it comes
Hopefully.
to the pill. And then
Yes.
we'll, of course, continue our conversation on the other side of a short little break where we're going to be tackling topics like how do you decide or how do you know which is the best form of contraception for you? And of course, in the meantime, we would love to have your opinions and your conversation around this topic. Send us those voice notes on 0634088863. We'll be right back with the doctors.
Well, a great break is always a bit of a workout, and when it comes to a strong lower body, it is essential to many everyday functional movements. Now, movements is very simple as climbing steps or squatting or picking up something all the way that requires strength and stability from your legs. And the best leg workout, of course, we never skip leg day here. We have Paul Jordan here to take us through this workout. And Paul, I'm quite excited because I'm busy training for my first marathon. So the legs have been putting a lot of running in, but I feel like I've kind of like taken a step back in the strength training that is, I know, essential to making sure the quads are nice and strong.
Yes, of course. I mean, obviously the dumbbells and weighted exercises are, like, at the end of the day, better, but anyone from home can do a good body weight exercise and still develop those quads efficiently.
Okay, so you at home, join us if you feel like getting involved. Paul's about to take us through a nice little leg workout.
All right, guys, so we're gonna start off by doing normal squats into standing calf raises. All right, gonna do this for about 30 seconds and then move over to the next exercise.
Okay.
Okay, low, up. Here we go. Okay, let's pick up the tempo. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stay in that position. Now, when you're in this position, we're gonna do some sort of a walking squat exercise, so you're gonna just be doing this. Front, back. Front, back. There we go. How's that feeling, Zoe?
Oh, the legs are burning, hey?
5 seconds. Okay, we're gonna go straight into the squat and calf raises again. All right, 10 seconds.
You do not give the quads any breaks.
There we go. No, this is a quad-focused exercise. 5 more seconds. We're gonna go into side lunges. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, side lunges, ready? Okay, right first. There we go.
See? These are workouts you can do in front of your TV.
10 more seconds. How's it feeling, Zoe?
Oh, listen, same answer, burning. Yeah, I have neglected the leg strength.
Give it 5 more seconds. We're gonna do reverse lunges. And reverse lunges. All right, so you're gonna just come forward, right first, gonna step into the back. So right there, and switch. There we go. Make sure that knee touches the ground, you know, just to get that depth. Five more seconds. All right, so let's do a little bit of groundwork. We're gonna go straight into donkey kicks just to target that glutes individually. Make sure your knees, your arms are shoulder width out apart, and we're gonna start off right again. All right, 1,
Oh, you said
2,
right.
3, 4, 5, 6. You can do about 10 per leg, and then just switch over again. 9, 10. Switch.
For those who want to add a little bit of resistance or weight, they can do some ankle weights.
They can do
perhaps.
some ankle weights, dumbbells, resistant bands. It's always a good weight, you know, just to contract those muscles a little bit more. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. All right. To finish off the exercise, we can just do some normal calf raises again.
Okay.
Just to get the blood pumping to the calves. All right.
There we go. So it also helps maybe if you hold on to something.
Yeah, obviously.
Just for balance. Oh, Paul, this is a great workout. Give me one reason why no one should be skipping leg day.
Well, since summer is coming up, you don't want a ginormous upper body in comparison to your lower body. So, you know, if you're looking for a partner, this is the way to go.
Well, there we go. Paul, you're down on your Feel Good Breakfast show, showing us exactly how we can use our own body weight to strengthen our lower body. And of course, we are going to just finish off with our calf raises. Namaste.
Stay.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. It's a Tuesday morning and we're focusing on all things health and well-being, with yesterday being World Contraception Day. And it's not just about contraception itself, but also about family planning and population management. So a lot of different aspects being addressed by this day. Now, gynecologists and obstetricians, Dr. Jason Bennett and Dr. Kate Chambers, are still with us this morning as we continue our conversation regarding contraception. We would love to hear your opinion on contraceptives. Send us your voice notes on 063-408-8863. Let's actually hear one of your voice notes.
Morning. I would like to ask, why does the injection make a person fat? Thank you.
Dr. Bennett seems to have gotten that question. So the question, why does the injection
make me fat?
Okay,
so that is a very common question that we receive. The injection, meaning it's called depot. There's either a 3-month injection or a 2-month injection. To start off with, they are very good forms of contraception.
Okay.
You only have to have an injection once every 3 months, once every 2 months. But it does make you put on weight. So they've done a few studies and they looked at other contraceptive methods, even the pill. And they said, does the pill make me put on weight? Does the Mirena, does the copper T make me put on weight? And it's actually been proven that it doesn't. We have a fancy word for it. It's called weight neutral. So those contraceptives don't, by statistics, make you put on weight.
Right.
However, the only one that does is the depot.
The depot, which is the injection that
there is a bit of
describing.
Exactly. There is a bit of genetic link to it. So some people will not put on weight at all with the depot, and that's amazing.
Okay.
But some people will unfortunately put on weight with the depot.
So it all depends on you, right?
It depends on you.
Which then leads me to the next question that we left off with from the last segment, and that is, how do you decide what is the appropriate form of contraception for you? Dr. Chambers?
So I think it's quite a tricky question, but it's one that if you sit with your doctor, whether that's your GP or gynecologist, you can go through it and look at what you want from the contraception. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't only use the pill, the Mirena, all those sorts of things for family planning. So it's what you want. So you need to know, do you want to have a pill? Are you good at taking a pill? Because a lot of people aren't good at taking pills.
Okay, because that schedule is very important.
Exactly. And if you miss a pill, you're going to have problems. Then you get scared, you know, have I fallen pregnant, haven't I? So if you're not good at taking a pill, then you look at something like an intrauterine device or a 3-month injection or an implant. The other things to look at, are you using it to treat something else? So do you have polycystic ovarian syndrome? Do you have acne? Do you have an irregular cycle that you're trying to control?
Okay.
Those will then decide, do I go with an intrauterine device or do I go with a pill?
Right.
So there's lots of different things that you need to look at. The other thing that you need to consider is, when are you planning your family? So, you know, if you're planning on having a family, if you've just got married and you want to have just a year of, fun time with your husband, traveling, doing those sorts of things, then maybe the pill's the better option. But if you're thinking 5 years, 10 years, then an intrauterine device is a better option because it's a longer acting contraception.
Right.
So sit down with your doctor, have those conversations, and we will be able to find something that works for you.
Yeah, well, great question there. We'd love to hear more from you. 0634088863. Okay, so with regards to the pill, let's delve a little bit deeper into that. Does that make it harder to conceive?
Yes, so that's a very common question that we receive a lot. We've got these women who've been on the pill since they were 15, 16 years of age, and now they are 30 or 35 and they're wanting to have a baby, and they're very worried that their fertility is going to be decreased. And the short answer is no.
Okay.
The chemicals in the pill work themselves out of your body very quickly, and hence you have to take it every day. So your cycle can get back to normal quite quickly after stopping the pill. And people are sometimes surprised at how fast they fall pregnant after stopping the pill.
Okay.
With regards to some other contraceptives, for example, the injection, that can delay return to fertility or by about 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
So it may take a little bit longer to get pregnant if you've been using an injection.
And that's something that you would have discussed with your doctor at the outset, depending on your family planning schedule when you would have...
But in the long term, contraceptives don't decrease your fertility.
Okay.
Can I just add to that? They don't in general, but if you are treating something, so for instance, if you're using the pill to treat polycystic ovarian syndrome, as soon as you take away the pill, you've still got that underlying condition. And the problem with polycystic ovarian syndrome is people don't ovulate. So if you have PCOS on and you're on the pill and you stop the pill, you might struggle to fall pregnant, but not because of the pill, but because of the underlying condition. And I think that's something that people get confused about.
Wow, brilliant insights, doctors. Much appreciated. We'll continue our conversation. 0634088863. That's the number for you to send through your voice notes to as we delve a little bit deeper into this issue or this idea and conversation regarding contraception. And of course, yesterday was World Contraceptive Day, which is exactly why we're focusing on that topic on this Health Tuesday.
Oh, and now we bring it to the kitchen for some delightful smoothie magic. Because you know what? Sometimes the best way to get a healthy dose of, vitamin-packed fruit and vegetables is to drink it in a smoothie. It's the easiest way to almost sort of fool anyone or scam anyone into doing it. But if lactose intolerance is a challenge, then of course we know that our clever no-lack lactose-free creamy beetroot and berry smoothie is just for you. Just what the doctor ordered. And Nondumiso shows us just how it's done. Nondumiso, this is really awesome, okay?
Yes.
So, I mean, very few ingredients you need for this one.
Yeah.
So already I know that this is the type of recipe for me.
Yes, exactly. Because some people say if it takes you longer to make than it takes you to eat it, then don't make it.
Well, but the thing is, if it takes you long to make, you're over it by the time it's ready.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
But some meals are just worth the extra
wait.
effort. Okay, so
we
we're
got some
add some of
beetroot.
those beets, Add those beets.
So what inspired this recipe today?
I think it's just like you said before, it's a really easy way to actually get those veggies in there. Now we're adding beets. A lot of people struggle to incorporate beets into their diets, into their daily diet, and a really nice way is to actually just add them to a smoothie. Plus, it's going to give our smoothie that beautiful bright pink color, which is just incredible. So we've got those beets, some berries there. We're using fresh berries today, but of course you could also use frozen berries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what do? Do you add some water in it?
Then we're going to add some of that honey there. There we're going to add the honey, and then we're going to add in our no-lac clovered snack.
So that's
now, what I love
where the creaminess comes from, right?
Yes, exactly. But also it shows that this brand is actually mindful of people's dietary needs. Yeah. Because people with lactose intolerance really struggle.
They miss out. They really miss out. Because how many times have you actually been to a braai? Let's think of the more common sort of events that we attend where somebody who's lactose intolerant just sits there, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to do when the dessert comes.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's good for big brands to actually really respond to people's needs. Okay, so we're going to blend that.
I must tell you, I also can't remember when last I had beetroot.
Yeah, it's one of those vegetables that you kind of forget about.
You
right?
do.
Yeah, but it's nice when you add it to your smoothies, adds a pop of color and all of those nutrients.
And then you're good to go.
And check that.
blitz. I think this would be the most ideal thing also for a nice little picnic. So we put these in jars, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So I'm actually making this one for you.
It is
I'm making this one
gorgeous.
just for you with all of the love. And if you want to get your hands on this recipe, go on to expressoshow.com. But we love that the Clover No-Lac lactose-free range of milk, mass, and dairy snack is lactose-free, which is great. Which means that, you know, you can enjoy dairy again in versatile and delicious ways like this nutritious smoothie that we have made this morning, or that I have made for Nondu Miso this morning.
Thank you. I feel spoiled.
And you are. You're going to love this one. Something tells me you already know what it's like and what it's about.
Ooh, yummy.
Tell me how it tastes.
Oh yes, love. And the earthy taste of the beet comes through, and then of course we've got the sweetness. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yummy.
I did make this one earlier as well. I'm working so hard this morning.
I believe you. I totally believe you.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay.
It looks like a party.
It does look and taste like a party. It's so refreshing. Go out and make this recipe. The recipe can be found with all of the ingredients and a list of them, as well as a step-by-step. I mean, it's literally just putting it all, blitzing it, and you're good to go. Expressoshow.com. I love it, Nondusi. Cheers, baby.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We continue our conversation around contraceptives on this Tuesday morning, where we focus on all things health. And that's why we have gynecologists and obstetricians, Dr. Jason Bennett and Dr. Kate Chambers, who are still with us this morning. And of course, we love hearing from you. We actually have a voice note that's come through from Sue. Let's take a listen.
Good morning, Expresso family. What I would like to know on behalf of my granddaughter is why does the pill adversely affect some people and others not?
Great question, Sue. Thank you very much for that, which is actually where we are going to pick up the conversation about some of the possible side effects of the pill.
Yes, so very common question. You know, the thing is with any medication, everybody reacts differently to medication, and it's about finding one that works for you. And there are so many different types of pills on the market. All of them have different doses of estrogen, possibly different types of progesterone, and it's about finding one that suits your body. So unfortunately, you know, there isn't one that's one size fits all, and it might be a little bit of a trial and error to try and find one that works. The common side effects with the combined oral contraceptive, because of the estrogen and the progesterone, are nausea in the beginning. You can get breast tenderness because of the increased progesterone. Some people get headaches, and those are generally quite transient. They last about 2-3 months as your body is getting used to having the external hormones. Having said that, there are definitely some patients who don't respond to hormones as well as others do, and then it's very important just to go back to your GP or your gynecologist and have you rethink the conversation and look at other options. Say what your side effects are. Maybe we need to decrease the amount of estrogen, change the progesterone, and see what works for you.
Okay, so ultimately it is dependent on each patient.
Exactly.
And you need to kind of go through your own experience and your doctors there to help you out with that. Now, another question.
Good on Sue for looking after her granddaughter's contraception.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you,
As
Sue.
a
I
grandmother
think that's very progressive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well done, Sue. So thank you very much for that. Now, let's quickly talk about a question that maybe, I don't know how often you get this kind of question. Taking a contraceptive, does that impact on the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases at all?
So, contraceptives in general are really good at preventing pregnancy if you take them properly.
Yes.
However, they are not good at preventing STDs or sexually transmitted infections. The only contraceptive that will prevent a sexually transmitted disease is a condom.
There we go.
So it is not a method to prevent a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the health factors that might influence your choice of contraceptive and how those are categorized.
Sure. So the health implications or the certain things that we get concerned about with different types of contraception, especially with the combined oral contraceptives, so the ones that have estrogen and progesterone in them. The common things that we look at are you on any other medication? So often different psychiatric medication can interact with the levels of the pill because they're both metabolized by the liver. So you just have to see whether they will counter each other. So whether you're on other medication, the things that we get concerned about is high blood pressure, obesity or being overweight, smoking are all contraindications to being on a combined contraceptive. And especially the other thing that a lot of people talk about with the pill is clotting. So having previous clotting disorders or having had a previous deep vein thrombosis, you shouldn't be on the pill.
Right, right.
So we have what we call the WHO eligibility criteria, where you sit and we go through what your medical conditions are and we can say, okay, this is what would work for you, this is what we avoid. But those are just the main things that we get concerned about.
Yeah, yeah. So very important that when you are considering being on a contraceptive that you have a full-on consultation with your medical expert so that you get the right one that is suitable for you. We also got some interaction and some comments from our social media pages where Lerato Mokotlo said side effects is what should be spoken about. I have different experiences with various ones I used and they're all bad. I'm yet to get something that suits me. All right, so what would you suggest to Lerato at this point? Is it about just revisiting the conversation with your particular specialist? What do you do?
Don't give up, Lerato. I think that's important to say. There will be something that suits you.
Yes.
I'm not sure what you've been on, so it's going to be important to literally go step by step from the time you first started contraception, go through what worked, what didn't work, what you didn't like about the contraceptive, and kind of move on to other methods. As we said, not one contraceptive fits everyone, and there are so many these days.
Absolutely.
So there's definitely a contraceptive choice for you. So I'd say, Lerato, go back to your doctor and have a chat and just think of some other methods. Remember, there are a whole lot of non-hormonal methods of contraception that work really well, and people do very well on them.
Now, another aspect of this conversation is that of family planning, which is actually a very important part of contraceptions and why they exist in the first place. So what exactly is family planning and how is natural family planning different from contraceptions?
So
So
family planning is, as it says, you're planning a family. So we would love you to be able to choose when you want to have a baby, so it fits in with your lifestyle.
Yes.
You're financially ready to have a baby, you're emotionally ready to have a baby, you've got a certain plan and you've reached certain goals and now it's time to have a baby. And we find that does definitely helps a lot. And that's kind of family planning, and that's why we have contraception. You mentioned natural family planning.
Yes.
So it's something we can't overlook. There is something called natural family planning, where we don't use medications or devices. It consists of things like using rhythm methods, kind of sexual practices, and it does, I mean, it's not the best form of contraception, but it does work for some people, and I think we must respect that. And if that's what someone wants, and that's what makes them happy, and if that's what works for them, we must go with it.
Yeah, ultimately, this is all a choice.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think the day of technology, the app, there's lots of apps that help us to track our cycles, which then tell you when you are ovulating and when your fertile period is. So those all help with the natural family planning. But it must be noted that obviously you can't do natural family planning when you have an irregular cycle. So as Dr. Bennett says, it's not the perfect form of contraception, but it is out there and it needs to be discussed.
In saying that we do have a lot of births from natural family.
As a result thereof. And then finally, I do have to touch on this one quickly. If there's any kind of emergency method of kind of fail-safe if your birth control fails.
So if someone's using their birth control properly, the failure rate is actually really low. That using it properly, meaning you're taking your birth control pill every day at the same time, you don't skip any days, it's less than 1% chance of failure, which is really good. I think if someone still falls pregnant and they're using things properly, then I think, as I said, it's maybe it's meant to be, I don't know. Maybe you're lucky or unlucky. But for example, if someone's not on contraception and there is some sort of accident, there are some things that we can do. It's called emergency contraception. Everyone's heard of the morning after pill. It's available at any clinic for free. It's available at any pharmacy. It doesn't need a script. It is a pill, but you must take it as soon as possible. And the efficacy decreases rapidly. Another method is to put in a device as soon as possible. So, for example, a copper T, which is a device that goes inside the uterus, also as soon as possible, but more effective than taking those medications. And also, you've kind of sorted out your family planning for the next few years.
And rather that than be afraid of the judgment that you might get from the person across the counter. Do the right thing for you. And Dr. Chambers, Dr. Bennett, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Very interesting and insightful conversation. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But please continue to engage us on social media, #Expresso.
Well, I really enjoy all the medical chats and health chats that we have on a Tuesday, including bringing you Pharmacy of the Week. Now, this is a short feature that acknowledges the incredible people working on the front line.
And there's so many of them. It really is our way of saying thank you. Thank you. We salute you, all those brave healthcare workers. Proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. This week, where are we going?
Well, let's take a look at the Pharmacy of the Week, which is Centrum Pharmacy in Welkom.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
I think the greatest gift that we can give back to the community is our client services, our medicine that we can get anywhere, anytime, and that we are open from 8 o'clock until 9 at night.
Pharmacy should always be the first point of call. We are well-educated people. People can come to us directly. We've got lots of knowledge. I think a pharmacist is one of the only people in South Africa, or even in the world, that people can come and ask difficult questions and they don't have to pay for it. So we are very, very much available and knowledgeable.
We're not only supporting Welkom, there's places like small farm communities that would come to us to get their medicine needs.
First of all, this is not a pharmacy to me. This is a family. I'm buying for lifelong from this pharmacy. Their service is magnificent.
The meaning of Brave to us here at Centrum Pharmacy is standing hour after hour, day after day, helping patients, helping with the problems of healthcare, and we couldn't have done it without Adco OTC with all their wonderful products.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
We've been long in the game, healing South Africa one allergy at a time. All the sneezing, runny nose, itching of nose and throat, we've left no stone unturned. Until finally, South Africa recognized us. You've given us the courage to continue to do what we do best. Live, work, play, sleep allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy. Ask your pharmacist for the full allergy range. Brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Ah, man, we salute you. We are celebrating Pharmacy Month to show our love and our support for our amazing local pharmacists. They work so hard.
They do, and remember to always support your local pharmacists as they are a pillar of our communities. We certainly love and appreciate you.
Defeat your mucus monster, Mucofizz. Loosen mucus and phlegm for clearer airways. Brought to you by Pharmacodynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3. And today we are putting the spotlight on women's health. And earlier we spoke about contraceptives. Now let's take a different angle. In South Africa, about 4 million girls between the ages of 12 and 19 have little to no access to sanitary products. And that is a scary statistic. 25% of these girls miss school each month because of this. And many of these girls use newspapers, clothing, or bark instead of using safe and absorbing pads. Now enter Lene Lowe, a teenage girl who's teamed up with Laura Hoffman, a youth leader at the Tygerberg Seventh-day Adventist Church, with the goal of raising enough money to buy girls reusable pads through their StreetWise project. This is absolutely incredible. Lene, Laura, it's great to have both of you here. Lene, I'm going to start off with you. Hearing those statistics is scary. And then enter you at such a young age wanting to make a difference. Why did you decide that this is a project you want to take on?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to always, in future, me shoes, wanted to do something for the community and for younger girls. And then about 3 weeks before we started the project, I saw these YouTubers in America, and they did an RV trip around the entire America to raise money for girls in America. And I just kind of started to wonder, is that a problem in South Africa? And then I saw the statistics, and it just completely scared me. So I started talking to Laura, and we decided to do something about it. So yeah.
I love this, and these are the types of conversations that's so inspiring. So Laura, give me a little bit more insight. How did this partnership come about?
Well, as you said, I'm the youth leader at our church, and so Lene and I go to the same church. I'm 10 years older than Lene, so I know her since she was born. We won't say my age, but anyway. And yeah, so we've known of each other for Lene's whole life, and I've been in projects with Meals on Wheels before. So I think when Lene thought of this idea, she thought, well, let me ask Laura. I'm a woman, so I understand the need, and I might be able to assist her. And yeah, so this is how we started, and we also both prayed about it because we didn't want to do something that it's just about us, because it's not the message that we are trying to create. We are trying to show others that we care about them and that the one person that's leading us is God.
Yes, and that is beautiful that the two of you are also embarking on this project together. Now let's talk about the reusable pads, because I know that for some girls to just have access to these sanitary products is you know, it's often difficult and that's why they miss school. So reusable pads, I think it's brilliant. Do you have a sample? Can we have a look? Can we see what it's all about?
Yes.
And it even comes in a cute little bag.
Yeah.
So this is the pad. So you get a panty as well, but we all know what that looks like, so I don't have to show you. So the pad looks like this, and basically it's like a normal pad that you would use. It clips around the panty, and then you would clip it in, and then it clips like that around the panty. And we've both used this, and it actually kind of works better than a normal pad. So, I mean, even girls who can afford normal pads or would be able to afford this, I think this is a good solution, seeing that the world is going to a more economic way, yeah.
And I mean, if you think about it, girls that use disposable pads could easily use, what, 4, 5, 6 a day?
Yeah.
And that is one that you will obviously just rinse. How do you clean it? Do you just give it a good rinse and then you're good to go?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's always better for to be clean, for hygiene, to use some soap. But yeah, that's basically it. And you can hang it outside and it will dry quite quickly, and then you can use it again.
That is absolutely amazing. But naturally, StreetWise project, you guys need funds. You need people to back you. You need people to be behind you. How can people show their support and be part of this project with you?
I think, so we have a website. It's www.streetwise.africa. All our details are on there. So we have partnered with Meals on Wheels. I think I mentioned this before. People know of them. They're a well-known organization. So we ask if people want to make donations to please donate into their account, and they are keeping track of everything to make sure that we reach our end goal. I think on our website, Lene and my email is also on there. If you guys would like to reach out to us, please do so. We also have an Instagram account called StreetWise. So please, if you would like to get in contact with us, please search our Instagram.
Well, the Super Ls are at work. Laura, Lene, thank you for joining us today, and this is an incredible project. Those details are on your screens right now, but do go and support them. It's www.streetwise.africa, and let's get behind these wonderful initiatives.
Certainly worth supporting. Thank you so much, ladies. It's now just hit 7 o'clock here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's take a look at your news headlines. Dubai-based airline Emirates will ramp up its flights to and from South Africa by adding extra services to Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban. Emirates will be expanding its schedule to and from Johannesburg with 3 daily flights from the 1st of March next year. Meanwhile, Cape Town will be served with double daily services starting from the 1st of Feb next year, and Emirates will also be adding 2 more flights to Durban, making it a daily operation from the 1st of December this year. And now Emirates has been serving South Africa for 27 years. Staying here at home, President Cyril Ramaphosa has conceded that the government will not eliminate the current massive rolling blackouts in the short term. In his letter to the nation, he says, however, that the government's goal is to reduce the frequency and severity of the blackouts in the immediate term. Ramaphosa says there is an end in sight to the electricity crisis, as government is making progress in the implementation of additional measures that he announced in July this year. In news making headlines abroad, the U.S. president, Vice President Kamala Harris has arrived in Tokyo, Japan as part of her visit to Asia. Yesterday, she held bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Japan, Fumio Kishida, on cooperation regarding Taiwan. Now, the White House earlier said that it welcomed Japan's increased military striking power and increasing security involvement. And today, Harris will attend the state funeral of the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo, together with other world leaders. Some 6,000 guests and 190 foreign representatives are expected. The International Monetary Fund confirmed on Sunday that a staff team is visiting Ghana this week to continue discussions with the authorities on policies and reforms that could be supported by an IMF lending arrangement. Ghana turned to the IMF for help in July as its balance of payments deteriorated and hundreds took to the streets in protest against economic hardship. An IMF staff team briefly visited the country a fortnight later. Now, the IMF said the team would stay until October October the 7th. And now on to some entertainment news. Daniel Craig has called it a day playing secret British agent 007. And it would appear all concerned would like a British actor, Idris Elba, to step into his shoes. But the superstar's recent comment has been, and I quote, "I don't think that playing Bond will satisfy some of my personal goals." Elba says everywhere he goes, people mention Bond. And I quote again, "And I feel it's beyond me at this juncture." He added, one of the producers, Barbara Broccoli, who very much wants Elba to sign on the dotted line, said that when they cast Bond, it's a 10 to 12-year commitment, and she says not everyone wants to do that, and further added that it was hard enough getting Daniel Craig to do it, and he was in his early 30s at the time. Now, apart from Elba, another famous face in the frame to play 007 is Superman and The Witcher star Henry Cavill, who's no stranger to playing iconic British characters. He'll be portraying Sherlock Holmes in the next Enola Holmes film, but it will be a while still before matters are finally shaken and stirred. Oh, okay, that's going to be one to watch. That's where we leave it for now. The next update will be in just over an hour. Here's Kat with your sports.
Well, from 007, it seems the Italian job has been done as Italy clinched a place in the Nations League Final Four with a 2-0 win away to Hungary, thanks to goals by Giacomo Raspadori and Federico Di Marco. Now, the European champions finished top of their group on 11 points from 6 games, and they joined Croatia and the Netherlands in the next year's finals of the tournament. This while Spain and Portugal will play in Braga tonight for the last spot available. Elsewhere, England and Germany played to an entertaining 3-3 draw. England fighting back from 2-0 down to lead 3-2, only for Kai Havertz to level with his second goal of the match after Luke Shaw, Raheem Sterling and Mason Mount all found the back of the net for the hosts. In cricketing news, England's women's captain Heather Knight has accused India of lying by giving tail-ender about giving tail-ender Charlie Dean warnings before her controversial run-out in the third one-day international between the two sides. The home side were chasing victory at Lord's on Saturday when India bowler Deepti Sharma dismissed Dean, who was well out of her ground. Now, running out a non-striker backing up is allowed under cricket's rules, but has long been regarded as unsporting by many within the game. Deepti said on Monday that India had repeatedly warned Dean for stealing ground by backing up and was adamant they had done nothing wrong. News now from the boxing world. WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury has called off his proposed Battle of Britain bout with Anthony Joshua, saying his compatriot had not signed the contract before Monday's deadline. Now, Fury had challenged Joshua earlier on this month, saying he would come out of retirement to defend his title in December, a challenge that Joshua accepted. Now, Joshua's 258 management and promoter Matchroom Boxing had said that they had accepted all terms presented to us by Fury's team, but agreed to halt all communication due to the death of Queen Elizabeth. Fury said he would still fight on the 3rd of December if the Joshua fight falls through. And finally, world record holder and twice London Marathon champion Brigid Kosgei has been forced to withdraw from Sunday's race due to a minor hamstring injury. Now, Kosgei, who won the London Marathon in 2019 and in 2020, was one of the favourites going into the event. She also won the Tokyo Marathon earlier this year after a silver medal at the Olympics last year. Kosgei set a world record time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 4 seconds in Chicago in 2019. And that's where we leave your sports for this 7 o'clock bulletin. We'll take another look at 8 o'clock right now. Here's a first look at what's happening out there on your roads.
Thank you very much, Kat. Yes, a first look indeed. Starting off out in Cape Town, Langa, there is a stationary vehicle that's on the end-to-end bound at Bunga Avenue. And the left lane has been obstructed, so please expect that there will be delays over there. If you're out in Benoni, Johannesburg, there has been an accident with a fixed object that's on the R21 northbound at Benoni Interchange, and all 3 lanes, the right lanes, are closed, and you can expect some delays over there, so please do allow some extra travel time. Pretoria in Newlands, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound after the Garsfontein Road, and the left lane is closed, so please approach with caution. Take it easy on the roads this morning. And up next, your weather. Excellent conservation news this morning from North Yorkshire in England, where young nesting ospreys recently produced 2 chicks, and the very first of them to be born in the country in over 200 years. It's a sign of changing winds as, of course, we know that the species is recovering across several areas of England, having been hunted to extirpation by 1916, or extinction rather, on the island. Changing attitudes after World War II saw legislation continuing to be introduced to protect raptors and other birds. And then a pair of ospreys flew into Scotland from Scandinavia. Now, they are migratory birds and they'll travel as far as West Africa, often across the Sahara. Even the first-year flyers will make the trip a dangerous voyage. And a former manager of the Rutland Osprey Project says that he wishes to extend the group's collaborative efforts to try and secure better protection for these birds as they fly over the Mediterranean. Ah, man, that is such a beautiful story. We love that. Well, from that bit of environmental news and conservation news to now taking a look at those beautiful sunrise pictures that we have asked you to share with us. First up, we have Paul from Gauteng, who shared this view from behind his home of the beautiful subtle tones slowly lighting up the sky. Lloyd and Lincoln Bosman also came in this morning, capturing this wonderful view from their road out in George. Take a look at that. Just look at those orange hues from behind the naked branches. It's lovely. Fatah Khan, thank you so much for sending in this magical view of the yacht out in Richards Bay. We love it as the sun peeks through the trees, reflecting on the water. Oh, man, that's beautiful. Last up, we have one from our regular contributor, Emil Jones in Buccleuch, Johannesburg, who snapped his perspective this morning. This one of the sun sneaking through the leaves as it rises, bringing a real picnic feel. Ooh, it's beautiful. What a way to start a brand new day. Please do make sure to send in your sunrise pictures as well on our WhatsApp line. That's 063-408-8863. And now let's take a look at your temperatures across the country. Polokwane, we start off with you. It is sunny out there. Polokwane, your low is 14 today. You will reach highs of 32, with the Mbombela starting off at a minimum of 19 and hitting a maximum of 29 degrees. Pretoria, that's the capital city, 19 and 32 for you, with sun and clouds expected out in Johannesburg. 15 is your minimum and your maximum temps today, 30. Mahikeng, 18 and 34. Klerksdorp, 17, your low, you will peak at 35. Kimberley, 16, that's where you will start off peaking at 31 degrees today. Some sun and clouds out in Bloemfontein, 14 and 30, with Richards Bay at 20, reaching highs of 27. Pietermaritzburg, thunder is expected out there. Whoa, 17, that's your minimum. Your maximum is 24. Rainy times persisting out in Durban today, 22, that's your low, you will reach highs of 26. With Mthatha also, rainy times are expected out there. 16 is your minimum. You will reach a high of 22. East London, 18 and 20, with Craddock at 14 minimum and a maximum of 29. Gqeberha, your temperatures today, 17, and your maximum is 19. George, you'll start off at 12. You will reach highs of 20. And how it's looking out in Cape Town, the mother city, today, 10. That's the start, peaking at 19. Rainfall expected a little bit out there. Worcester, 6 and a maximum of 24. Sutherland, you start off at 5. A cold start today. You will reach highs of 20 degrees. With Uppington last, but come on, not least, 17 is your low and your high is 30 today. Oh, it's raining in most parts of the country, but I know that you're not going to make it gloomy at all. You're going to make it a feel-good type of day, because it's a Tuesday, and you're going to choose that.
Good Tabsy, eh? Gqeberha. Ooh, it's a Gqeberha kind of Tuesday, hey? Listen, earlier on, Zoe asked you to help her to choose between 2 resort-inspired looks. Of course, there was that option 1, which was that yellow high-back midi dress with the broderie anglais detail, or there was the option 2, which was the yellow blouse with a split V-neck paired with a trendy broderie anglais shorts. And let's see what you had to say and how you voted on social media on our our Facebook page. Zelandia said, good morning, Expresso family. Option 1, she looks stunning in that yellow dress. Hashtag styled by Woolies. Thanks for using that hashtag. Michelle Buerta said, good morning, Zoe. Number 1 will look amazing on you. Then Nadia said, good morning, guys. That dress is beautiful. Oh, heart emojis and dress emojis as well. Melanie said, morning, Expresso team. Zoe would look great in both, but number 1 would be better. Hashtag styled by Woolies. Chantal said, good morning, option 1, but I love what you're wearing also. Have a blessed show. Thank you very much. Then Kerry said, both are beautiful. However, it looks like Zoe is leaning towards the tie-back dress. I wonder if they could read Zoe's mind. Well, you decided option 1 it is. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Brown. Rocking the broderie anglaise with the back tie. Did you do the bow at the back?
I did do the bow, but obviously we're wearing mic packs and earpieces, so I look like a cyborg.
Let me help you with that. Little bow. There we go.
There we go.
How good is this tying?
How cute is
1,
that?
2, 3. Lovely.
Thank you.
Attention to detail.
Thank you.
Huh?
There we go.
Do you feel comfortable looking good in it?
I do. I feel like Carrie just knows me. I mean, I'm a dress girl. I love one-piece outfits. I love this color, and this is a very Zoe dress.
Stunning. Thank you very, very much for helping us choose. Of course, don't wait until it's too late. Shop your summer essentials now at Woolworths. You can do so in-store, online, and on the app.
I've been vibing, yeah. Me and my folks all good, that sun is shining. Ay, still on my feet kicked up like I ain't trying. Yeah, this is what I want on summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. This is what I want on summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. Vibes right here, 100, yeah.
Only you can make my day.
New Revlon Color Stay Matte like crayon. Play it up. Bold matte color goes on as easy as a crayon. Feels barely there. Super soft, 12 rocket poppin' shades. New Revlon Color Stay Matte like crayon. Wanna play?
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Tuesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso here on S3. Thanks so much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, next up, we're joined in studio by an incredibly talented musician who's young and in high demand. We know her as Andrea Fortein, the amazing voice behind so many cover songs that have blown up on the internet and reached far away countries. And she's also dabbling in some original music. Take a listen to this.
Baby boy, you hit me aquí. And it's what maakt niet saak ook waar je ooit zal gaan nie. Ik loop die volle strijd met jou, want jij is mij forever en zonder jou is het never. En ik is zo lief voor jou, bij liefde zo beleggen, ik je God aan gaan zeggen. Want ik voel zo'n waardevolle vrouw.
Andrea Fortain in the house! In the house! If you had any doubts, there you go. Oh my word, it's so great to see you again.
So nice to see you as well, Katlego.
You're sounding absolutely incredible. The last time I saw you, we were in a different studio. This is a long time ago, 3-4 years ago. And to see your growth right now vocally, from a confidence point of view, you owning your space. Absolutely congratulations on everything that you have achieved right now. I mean, we've just listened to that snippet from the song that you did with Early B. Tell me about that experience and what it was like working with somebody so established in the industry. Eh?
Well, I met Early at my first show when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And he told me, Annie, we should hop on a song. I thought he was joking when he said that. I was just like, yeah. But then he actually messaged me a year later.
Yes.
And then he said, Annie, I have the song, I have the beat, I have everything. Let's go into the studio. And I said, the rest was history. I mean, yeah.
And it's since achieved platinum status.
Yeah.
I mean, that's telling you something about the people that are consuming the music and that they like what they hear. And how does that make you feel as an artist, especially having gone into the industry at such a young age, right?
It actually makes me feel emotional. I'm overwhelmed by the response of the people.
Wow.
I thought it wasn't going to be such a big hit. But wow, when I saw the response of the people, the crowd, the fans, sorry, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's really surreal.
Speaking of the crowds, I've had the privilege of standing on the Grand West Arena stage and looking out at the audience. That place is magnificent. And you had the chance to do that. You performed a show recently with the Soul Sisters at the Grand West Arena and with Sybil as well, a very well-known name. Tell me about that experience.
Wow, it was amazing when I'm used to the stage because I was at Karen White's show as well. But when I came there, I was once again surprised by how big it is, like backstage. I'm such a tiny person, and then backstage is like, and everything is just...
Right, exactly. It's super professional.
And when I met Sybil, we were, before the show, we were behind the scenes and we were praying. And I stood next to her and she kept my hand and I'm like, oh my God. I'm never going to wash this hand. She's so humble and down to earth. Wow. And the show was just amazing. Amazing. Everything was amazing.
Take me through, because I mean, I don't know how many people will ever have that experience, but when you're behind the scenes and you're waiting for your cue, right? Because you know it's either from the band or the stage manager who's like, Andrea, it's your turn, go now.
Whew.
Walk me through that. What is it like? And then you step on, the lights are on, crowd is just... What's that like?
So before I step on stage, I'm always sitting with my lyrics on my phone.
Okay.
And I'm in my zone. If you're talking to me, I don't listen. I'm busy focusing on what I'm going to do on the stage right now.
Yes.
And then when they call me, I'm stressing like crazy. I still get nervous on stage. But this
like John
time,
Legend, you still get nervous.
But this time I was more like excited. I wasn't actually nervous. I was more excited.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
It's amazing. And listen, it's paying off in a big way because you're being booked. You're in high demand, as I said. Tell me about some of the gigs that you've got coming up in October. What's happening?
So I have a few gigs coming up. It's the one in Wellington and the other one is in Darling.
Okay, so October is going to be a busy month for you.
And then I have another one. How can I forget?
Please do tell.
I'm booked by a company called Simplified IT Events and Management Company. The 3rd of December, I am in Durban.
There we
I'll
go.
be having a show in Durban.
So now we're starting to travel all around, catching flights, and hopefully one of them will be...
I'll just post more information about that on my Instagram and Facebook.
Exactly, and so you can follow Andrea Fortain on social media @_Andrea Fortain. Fontaine, and there you'll share all of that information. And of course, the tickets for the Wellington School of Skills Sports Ground, that's where it's going to be taking place, that event on the 1st of October. It's the Spring Carnival. $30 a ticket. Do check it out. But fortunately for you, as our Expresso family, we've got some music for you right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Make sure that you don't miss out on that. Well done, mate.
Front row seats at that. Now, while Andrea goes and, warms up her vocals, let's grant another viewer 2,000 Rand, 2,000 Rand take-a-lot voucher to go warm up their life. Yeah, their life.
Free to be you. Live, work, play, sleep, allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy.
Oh, well, listen, I can't think of a better place to spend spring than in our beautiful country. And Allergex Non-Drowsy is still giving you the chance to win a 2,000 Rand take-a-lot voucher by answering one simple question. So this week, we wanted to hear all about the best destinations in South Africa to enjoy the spring and what makes them so amazing.
And there's so many of them. So the entries poured in on our social pages. We are so excited to announce our next lucky winner. Can we get a drum roll, please? And congratulations, S Evidence Makakula. This is what Evidence said. Durban, it has the beach and it's so beautiful. The view is the best thing ever and there are so many beautiful attractions there. Hashtag Allergex ND. That's
there
it.
We
it's just
go.
beautiful.
And we actually have Evidence on the line right now. Good morning, Evidence.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Congratulations.
How does it feel to be today's lucky winner?
Thank you so much, guys. You made my day.
Ah, man, it sounds like you really do have a connection, like a love affair with Durban. What else do you love about Durban?
What I can say is that I've only went once to Durban and I can't get that out of my mind. I just fell in love with the place when I was there. The air while you're approaching the beach, it's something else. I've never experienced that in my entire life.
Well, that's why they call Durban South Africa's playground. Hopefully you'll be able to go back there again and relive or make some new memories. But you won yourself that 2,000 Rand take-a-lot voucher. Any ideas what you're going to be shopping?
Definitely, I'm going to shop the phone. I want a new phone, so I'm going to add it to my other voucher that I have and buy myself a new phone so I can take beautiful pictures while I'm at Durban, darling.
A voucher collecting queen. I can only stand not just today, but forever. Congratulations, Evidence.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, I love that. I love when you put a smile on someone's face like that.
And it's so easy for you to win. But stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show because after the break, we will find out what we can do to prevent allergy symptoms from disrupting our life.
We've been long in the game, healing South Africa one allergy at a time. All the sneezing, runny nose, itching of nose and throat, we've left no stone unturned until finally South Africa recognized us. You've given us the courage to continue to do what we do best. Live, work, play, sleep allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy. Ask your pharmacist for the full allergy range. Brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
to be you. Live, work, play, sleep, allergy-free with Allergex non-drowsy.
Now, many people in South Africa are affected by seasonal allergies, which usually heralds the onset of spring, as this is when the pollen count can rise significantly. Joining us to chat more about this and how over-the-counter medication may offer relief from these annoying symptoms is Chris Brassel from Adcock Ingram OTC. Welcome, Chris. It's lovely to have you on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Hello, thank you, and thank you for having me.
So, Chris, I think the big question is, do all antihistamines make you drowsy? It's a big thing for me because I'm very sensitive to this type of thing. So what is the truth behind antihistamines?
Okay, so it is a fact that not all antihistamines do cause drowsiness, but some of the older generation molecules that are contained in a lot of medications may cause drowsiness. However, the newer generation antihistamines, they are more selective. In other words, their action is more confined and they work where they should work and to defeat the symptoms caused by seasonal allergies. So the newer generation antihistamines really are great because they're long-acting and the simple once-a-day dosage, and they generally don't cause drowsiness.
So just to go more into the effectiveness of the newer generation molecules in relieving the symptoms of seasonal allergies. Of course, we want to mitigate some of the drowsiness, but are they actually effective?
They're very, very effective. As I mentioned, the newer molecules available, and these are available over the counter in your pharmacy. Generally, as I said, a once-a-day dosage. They last for a long time, so they're really great, allow you to carry on with your life uninterrupted. They are very effective for treating seasonal allergic rhinitis and general seasonal allergies.
I feel like this is a great thing for people who wake up in the morning and do shows on S3. Just a thought, especially when it's non-drowsy. However, does Adcock Ingram OTC have a range of products to treat allergies?
Oh yes, we certainly do. And these are available at the over-the-counter medication section in your pharmacy. They have a range of syrups containing the newer molecules such as loratadine, which, as I've said, is long-acting, simple once-a-day dosage. We have products available in both tablets and syrup format, and you can always ask your pharmacist for their advice, and they will recommend the best product available for you and your family to treat those annoying symptoms of allergies.
You know, you can always trust a pharmacist. They become part of the family, and I know that the Adcock Ingram's OTC Sponsors of Brave campaign has been active for some time, and it's gaining beautiful momentum. I'd just like to ask you, Chris, can you tell us a bit more about what being brave means to you and the impact it has on celebrating pharmacists, as mentioned, and community pharmacies as well?
For me, being brave, it's about committing to making a difference in your life, throughout your life, and just getting up and being honest with what you do and helping people wherever you can. And I think during and after the COVID pandemic that many people are brave on an everyday basis without even realizing it. And this, of course, applies definitely to our local community pharmacists and the pharmacies they work in. Every single day, they face sick people, they deal with them, they put their patients and customers first, and they are first in the line for being brave in my eyes. And I think the fact that they are so committed to their profession and to their communities, they deserve a shout out just to make people in South Africa aware of the good job that they're doing, because all of us use a pharmacy at some time in our lives, and we couldn't really exist without them. They're stars and superheroes.
And so are you, Chris. Thank you so much for those kind words. I know that many pharmacists and pharmacies thank you for all the great work that you've done to enable them in making sure they make the good choices for families across South Africa and beyond. So thank you very much for joining us, Chris.
Thank you. My pleasure, and have a great day further.
I definitely will. And as you know, what a beautiful campaign and bravery all over. It's important to remember that September is National Pharmacy Month. Self-care is a human right, and your pharmacist is your partner. Support your local pharmacy. They are the pillars of your community. And this is brought to you by Allergex Non-Drowsy in proud association with Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Building communities, one pharmacy at a time. And don't forget, you stand the chance to win a 2,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher daily. And here's how.
Spring is glorious.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, bless you, man. Bless you. Unless you suffer from allergies. But that has all changed with Allergex non-drowsy and the wonders of spring competition on Expresso this September.
So stand a chance to win a daily giveaway Monday to Friday of a 2,000 Rand take-lot voucher to spend on the best outdoor living gear.
I love that. So answer the weekly question on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages and include that all-important Allergex ND. The competition runs from the 1st till the 28th of September, and those terms and conditions do apply. Good luck and bless you, man.
Well, speaking of spring, let's put a little spring into your kitchen. There's nothing better than an outdoor breakfast, and this next trendy recipe packs a healthy flavor punch as well.
This range of margarines and spreads. Classic spread. Mama Bake.
Margie, how do you know what we like? I know someone who knows.
Spread the Margie love.
Made with love by Clover.
So, activated charcoal, it's been seen and blue-ticked in the food scene for some time now, and today we're making it a classic. Not only does it transform the appearance of your food in quite a dramatic fashion, but it's also said to be associated with many health benefits. So, Nondubiso is going to be showing us how these Clover Classic activated charcoal flapjacks come together. I'm very excited. I mean, the look of them is quite interesting.
Yes.
I even asked you just now, is this going to color our teeth?
No, it's not. But it's a really... Activated charcoal is great because it's such a nice way to actually make your food look more beautiful, more interesting and more elegant.
Absolutely.
I think black is an elegant color.
It absolutely is. And speaking of somebody who is activated, can we invite a guest into the kitchen?
Yes.
Andrea, come and join us.
Yes,
she's just been sound checking. You heard her sound check. What did you think?
Oh, stunning. I mean,
Absolutely
your voice is incredible.
Well done. Wonderful stuff. So we're going to put you to work in the kitchen. You okay with that?
Delicious.
Excellent. All right. So you added some ingredients there to create our blackjack or flapjacks.
Yes,
blackjacks.
They are black. Okay, so I've added some activated charcoal, some flour, as well as some of our baking powder.
Yes. Okay, good.
And then I'm going to make a well, and I'm going to add in our clover butter here that we've got, and some maple syrup. Okay.
Wonderful
Now,
stuff.
if you can help us by starting to assemble this, just to show the audience how beautiful it's going to look in the end.
Ooh, let's see how you do with that. So you need to first take that activated flapjack, activated charcoal flapjack. Put it onto the plate, and then you're going to decide in what order you are going to place all of the ingredients. So we've got some blueberries, we've got some honey. What do we have here?
So we're going to have some cream. So if actually you could use the cream just to layer on our flapjack there to make it look nice and
Take the spoon.
pretty.
Let's see. There we go. Let's see how you would do it.
Of the spoon.
Okay.
Because, like, it's not easy to do.
There we go. that makes you pretty handy in the kitchen. Are you handy in the kitchen at home with family?
I'm a baker.
Wow.
My sister actually owns a baking business.
Oh.
Kitten. There we go. And what kind of pastries do you make?
Only cakes, we only bake cakes.
Fantastic stuff. All right.
I'm not that good with food.
You'll get around to it. You're doing very well right now. But in the meantime, while you do that, Clover Classics is, of course, an ideal and versatile fat spread that can be used daily for spreading, for cooking, and for baking. And it contains 7 vitamins and is made with a touch of clover cream for smoother spreadability. All right, so what's going there? I'm hearing some sizzling from the pot.
I'm preparing our berry compote, which we're going to put out on top there. So if you could please go ahead and do that.
Alrighty.
To show how beautiful these berries look against that black activated charcoal.
I think let's just call them blackjacks.
I
Can we
know,
call them
right?
Is that okay?
I mean,
I mean, activated charcoal blackjacks.
Yes.
Because they're black and they're flapjacks.
Hope I'm making it look
That's
beautiful.
looking pretty
It looks
decent.
stunning. It looks very beautiful.
I can see the baker in you because you pay attention to detail.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to place it in exactly the right place. Mm-hmm. And then over here, I was wondering,
That's the ricotta.
The
If you're gonna
ricotta.
pass it on to me.
Here you go.
I'll just add this into our berry.
This is going to be the most Instagrammable flapjack ever, the way that you've constructed it.
highly Instagrammable.
And then we've got is this some maple syrup?
Some maple syrup that goes into, I think this you need to put in our berry compote. So
there we go.
You can get creative and with your fruit and your toppings and make it look as pretty as you want. It's up to you. And it's a really nice way to get your activated charcoal in, which is good because it actually absorbs toxins from your body. But don't overdo it though, because it's still actually a medicinal ingredient.
Okay.
So it's not really something you just consume in large quantities, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is activated charcoal something that you can just find anywhere, readily available?
Yeah, most health shops do have activated charcoal.
You can even have toothpaste, did you know that?
Yes.
Yes, they even have activated charcoal toothpaste.
Exactly.
Supposedly makes your teeth look whiter and brighter.
Do you know that, like, back in the day, right, and I'm giving away my age, what? Everyone knows all that. Like, my granddad used to have us, like, take like the activated charcoal from burned, charcoal and fire, and you literally brush your teeth with that.
Actually, my grandmother used to make us do that too.
You've never done that, Andrea?
She's.
Oh,
are you a Gen Z?
Yeah, Gen Z.
Oh wow. Oh wowza. The youth.
You should try it. Yeah, absolutely. It works. It works. Okay, so are we going to be tasting?
Yeah.
Are you
I think we should.
Those ones around, or just bring the fork and knife, and we can actually.
Yes. Okay. So let's do that.
Let's see what Andrea thinks of it.
Some flapjacks. Yeah.
Those look actually beautiful.
But yours look beautiful too.
Maybe you should try baking activated charcoal cakes with your sister.
Actually,
that could be quite a new thing.
That would be really cool. Hey, a black cake.
Make it look all sprinkly and colourful on the outside.
Oh my gosh! When you
like,
cut it.
oh, it's what?
Wow,
someone that doesn't have a personality.
For their birthday. Yeah. Okay, have a taste, and then you let us know what you think.
I'll taste my one.
Okay, good.
Go ahead and taste your one.
Go ahead. You can see. Have you done this before on TV? There you go.
Yeah, at Expresso a few times.
Small bite. There we go. And get the. Yeah. There we go. All right. Okay. The face always tells the result before you speak. So you watch the eyes.
Yeah. Right. Right.
We have a winner.
Yes.
Wonderful stuff.
I don't eat sweet stuff, but this is amazing. Not too sweet.
Yes,
but
yes.
It gives it a bit of a balance.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice.
Exactly.
Well, Andrea has spoken. She absolutely loves it. Hopefully you love it too. If you missed how we made it, take a look at this.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. I hope you've been having a fantastic Tuesday morning.
Oh, man, there's still far more feel-good coming your way all the way through to 9 o'clock. In fact, we've got Kuhle standing by out in Joburg this morning, bringing us some good news. You know Joanne Joseph, the icon, the iconic media personality whose career spanned over 2 decades. I mean, we've grown up practically listening to her on the radio, seeing her on our TV screens everywhere. She's got a brand new book out, and so Kuhle's catching up with her. Kuhle.
Good morning to everyone in studio. Molweni nonke emzansi ndiyathemba namhlanje you woke up feeling so good. Igama lam nguKuhle Adams coming to you live from Johannesburg. We have the pleasure of being joined by one of South Africa's most pristine radio and television live broadcasters. I mean, she is the best-selling author and involved both behind the scenes producing worldwide documentaries to giving us high-profile interviews on our televisions. I am talking about none other than the powerhouse, Joanne Joseph. Good morning, Joanne. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Morning, Kuhle. Thanks so much for having me. Lovely to be with you.
You have been in the media game for over 2 decades. Take us back to how it all started.
So I actually just fell into media quite by accident. I was a student at Wits University in the early 90s. A really exciting time to be there. And I had been at Voice of Wits, which is now a community radio station. And a friend of mine whose show I used to read on said to me, do you know there's a new youth radio station opening? Let's have a go. Let's go and audition as presenters. I said, no, I can't possibly, because I've only been doing this on your show for 2 weeks, you know. And he said, come on, let's just take a chance. But somehow I passed the audition and it ended up being the morning reader.
You have done high-profile interviews and some controversial. Looking back at your experience, what would you say were some of your highlights and most memorable moments?
So I think some of the live broadcasts I've done were really the most moving and emotional for me. Madiba's funeral, for example, I mean, that was something that was broadcast all over the world. The international channels took our feed, you know, and so we were able to really dig deep and give the international community a sense of how we felt. That was one of the most emotional times that I was on air. But some of the other most memorable moments, they have to do with people who were, I mean, considered very ordinary and average, but were really important to me because they were bringing stories about late disclosure of abuse, that sort of thing. And they honored me by allowing me to have those interviews with them and you know, relived those things with me on air. So that for me was a real privilege.
Being a journalist in the political space can be quite controversial at times, and I can imagine dangerous as well. How did you manage to navigate that space?
It was really tough because I had to do a lot of difficult interviews with politicians in particular, people who'd been accused of corruption in the private sector, even in civil society, you know. And you have to treat all of your guests as equals on the show. You cannot focus on corruption or misdemeanors in one particular sector. You have to be fair about how you cover those stories. So it was very tough, and I think I have quite a few enemies out there possibly because I tried not to shy away from getting to the truth of what happened for the benefit of my audience. But I got some really good advice from a programming manager I had when I was in my last radio job. And he said to me, people are going to dislike you for all sorts of reasons. They're going to dislike you because you're a woman. They're going to dislike you because of your background. You know, there will be things about you that irritate them, and that's absolutely fine. You have got to learn to grow a really thick skin and live with it, because that's the nature of your work. And that was some of the most useful advice I got, not just for my television and radio work or for my writing, but for life in general, I think.
That's very important advice, especially being in the public eye. Let's get into your books, Joanne. We're going to touch on your most recent book, Children of Sugarcane, a bit later on. The first book that you've ever written, Drug Muled, 16 years in a Thai prison. Walk us through that journey and what inspired you to write the book.
So I didn't know that I could write at the time, you know, and I wanted to set up a challenge for myself. And I did a fascinating interview with Vanessa Goosen, who became the subject of that book later on. And I began to think after I left the studio that day, I think there are the elements of a beautiful story here, a very sad story, but a story about about a woman who's overcome quite a lot, who maintains her innocence, and who hasn't had a chance to really tell this story. And so shortly after that, we approached her and said, you know, is this something you would like to do? And she said, well, a couple of people have tried to write the book already. I wasn't happy, but I want to give it another shot, and so we did.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for starting the morning off with us and touching on your first offering, drug-muled, 16 years in a Thai prison. After this, we are going to be getting into your second offering, Children of Sugarcane. And I hope that you guys at home keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show, because Joanne is not going anywhere. We will see you shortly.
Thanks very much, Kutle Adams. Always a pleasure to see you doing great things. Now we're back in the studio with an incredibly talented musician, Andrea Fortuin, who'll be headlining some awesome music festivals happening very soon. But she's here with us this morning with her first performance of the morning, a song called Waiting on You.
Take some time to figure it out, 'cause you know I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting and waiting and waiting on you. When you're ready, come and get it. You know I'm about you, 'cause I know you feel it too whenever I'm around you. So quit playing games, it wouldn't be the same without you. Yeah. Big love when you talk to me. I love it when you talk to me. Better listen carefully if you wanna be there for me. I need someone who's gonna show up, stand out, and be proud of our love, of my love. I'll be waiting on you. Hey. I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting and waiting and waiting on you. Hey. I'll be waiting on you. Say I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting and waiting and waiting on you. Hey. When you're ready, come get it, come get it, yeah. When you're ready, come get it, come get it. When you're ready, come get it, come get it.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Beautiful stuff. So that's an original track, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the writing process of this song and what it is that was inspiring you at the time when you wrote it.
So I wrote it in my room. I just had these words. I made up my own words. I literally just said, waiting on you, waiting on you. And then I was like, I'll be waiting on you. I thought of the melody. And then it just came flowing. I wrote my own stuff.
There we go. Well, that's it. That's what artists do. You just allow the artistry and the music to live through you. Well, we can't wait to hear more from you. Let us know what you thought about that performance on our Feel Good Breakfast show's social media pages. Of course, hashtag Expresso, and we'll see you after this break.
Switch to Red on SA's leading network and save up to 10,000 Rand when you trade in. Get the new Samsung Z Flip 4 on a 600-minute Red Core More voice plan for 1,439 Rand per month over 24 months. Plus, get a 1,000 Rand Shop Gert voucher and enjoy more benefits and rewards. Further together, Vodacom.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
When I was diagnosed with cancer and a stroke, I couldn't work. I wasn't expecting it to happen to me, but my illness insurance paid out a lump sum and I was able to provide for my family.
Now, when you think of suffering from something like a heart attack or cancer, there is no doubt that you picture the grave emotional and physical effects thereof. But have you ever considered the financial impact of needing to take time off from work to recover? And this morning, I welcome back Kensani Baloyi, the product expert from Old Mutual, to unpack how illness insurance is the ultimate financial life raft during the toughest of times. And it is something of critical importance that I think that a lot of us need to consider having illness insurance. But Kensani, first, let's talk about exactly what it is that one could expect not to expect when you are recovering from a serious illness. What are those unexpected costs that come about?
Thank you for having me back. Typically, when someone's diagnosed with an illness, they think about the medical costs, right? Yeah. Because those are the ones that we all hear about.
Exactly.
But what we often don't think about are those indirect costs that come after you have treated the medical side of things.
Yes.
If you take a stroke patient, for example, over and above the medical costs that they'll be faced with, they need to start thinking about costs such as hiring a regular caregiver.
Right.
They'll need to start thinking about costs of modifying their home or their car to make it more accessible and more comfortable for themselves. Wow. They also need to probably consider getting an au pair for their children because unfortunately they may not be able to do those school runs anymore. There are costs associated with physiotherapy, regular speech therapy, and so much more that is sort of indirect, but it is actually a requirement for your recovery. The cost of treating an illness really varies from illness to illness, from person to person, from family to family, but it's something that we need to consider and far beyond just the medical side of it.
Yeah, and I mean, you speak of something, let's say, like as long-term as recovery from a stroke, that can be devastating in that sense. But even in the short term, those costs can be absolutely enormous, and then that's when you would need that illness insurance in order to aid you financially in terms of your recovery. So to that extent, then, when should one consider or start thinking about having illness insurance?
So when you think about illness insurance, there's actually not a better time than now, because an illness can strike at any time, right? And it doesn't matter how old you are. And if we take a look at our 2021 claim statistics for illness insurance, we paid out over 800 million rand in illness insurance claims.
Wow.
And this was to people between the ages of 20, ranging all the way up to 83. So it just goes to show that the age band spans quite wide.
Yeah.
So if we look at the distribution between male and female claimants, the distribution was almost equal in terms of the amount of claims that we paid out for both sexes.
Yes.
So it just goes to show that there's no better time to consider illness insurance than now.
Yeah, while you're still healthy.
Absolutely.
Because I think we all tend to think that we're invincible until that event happens in your life and you look back at it and you think, oh my goodness, I should have covered that base or covered that base. Speaking of which, how much cover do you need and how do you know how much cover you need?
So that's a good question, and the only way to answer that is by sitting with your financial advisor and doing a very thorough financial needs analysis where they will look at what your needs are, what your affordability is, and based on that they'll be able to recommend just how much cover you need, and they'll be able to recommend how to structure your product, because the thing about All Mutual's illness insurance is that it's a very modular product. So what's great is that you can configure it to suit your exact needs and your exact budget, and your advisor can help you do that. So if anyone's watching and doesn't have access to a financial advisor, please do phone us on 0860 60 60 60 or visit our website on allmutual.co.za/illness to speak to one.
I absolutely love that, because no one's life journey is exact and identical, so one that is suitable to you, or package that is suitable to you, is most ideal. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to chat to you, Kansani.
You're welcome.
Well, there you have it. You can do something today that your future self will thank you for. Get the conversation started and get in contact with a financial advisor by calling 0860 60 60 60. That number is on your screen. And of course, you can also visit them online at oldmutual.co.za/illness.
Vincent was always very healthy, so it was a shock when he was diagnosed with colon cancer.
I'm a self-employed accountant, and the chemotherapy treatment made me too tired to work, at the same time as having to find extra money for unexpected costs. Then I had a stroke as well.
As a family, we would have faced years of real financial hardship if Vincent hadn't taken out illness insurance.
I wasn't expecting it to happen to me, but my insurance was a great relief.
Let's take a final look at your news headlines. Let's start off here at home in South Africa. The National Prosecuting Authority has confirmed that it's busy with the extradition process of more suspects from Lesotho who could have been involved in the attack on the Nomzamo Tavern in Soweto. The case against 5 of the suspects was adjourned yesterday morning in the Regional Court of Orlando until October the 18th, with 2 of the 5 suspects are South Africans and other 3 are citizens of Lesotho. Meanwhile, 16 people were killed and many wounded in the July murder when heavily armed men opened fire on people in the tavern. Dubai-based airline Emirates will ramp up its flights to and from South Africa by adding extra services to Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban. Emirates will be expanding its schedule to and from Johannesburg with 3 daily flights from the 1st of March next year. Cape Town will be served with double daily services starting from the 1st of February next year, and Emirates will also be adding 2 more flights to Durban, making it a daily operation from the 1st of December this year. Emirates has been serving South Africa for 27 years. And now in international news, debris from a drone strike in northern Ethiopia's Tigray region hit a World Food Programme, that's the WFP truck, carrying humanitarian aid and injured the driver, a WFP spokesperson said yesterday. The WFP, a United Nations agency, helps coordinate humanitarian assistance to Tigray, where a nearly 2-year conflict has killed thousands and left millions in need of aid. The truck was delivering food to internally displaced people in Tigray, where fighting resumed late last month after a 5-month ceasefire. The U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has arrived in Tokyo, Japan, as part of her visit to Asia. Yesterday, she held bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Japan, Fumio Kishida, on cooperation regarding Taiwan. The White House earlier said it welcomed Japan's increased military striking power and increasing security involvement. And today, Harris will attend the state funeral of the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo, together with other world leaders. Some 6,000 guests and 190 foreign representatives are expected over there. And now back home in South Africa, the weather appears to be playing along. Health regulations are relaxed, so people can move around as they wish. And the schools are closing on Friday. The general picture looks very good for tourism, and, well, it's Heritage Month, and that's a major boost for it. Wahida Parker, Managing Director of the Table Mountain Aerial Cableway Company, says tourists are increasingly descending on the mother city. Some 5,000 landed daily at the airport prior to the Rugby World Cup Sevens. And wonderful news is that the annual maintenance of the cableway has been completed, and people are again welcome to use one of the country's most iconic and Africa's leading tourist attraction to take them up Table Mountain, a UNESCO World Heritage Site steeped in history and symbolism. Now, the Khoisan, the indigenous people of the Cape, Table Mountain was known to them as Hurikwago, meaning mountain in the sea. It's a major tourist attraction that draws thousands of international tourists and local visitors, and certainly one of the new 7 wonders of nature, without a doubt. Why that is the case? Well, go out and support Table Mountain, get on the cableway and see the beauty of Cape Town. That's where we leave it for this morning. Here's Kat with a final look at your sport.
Thanks very much, Uncle Tabsy. Let's kick things off from the world of football, where Italy clinched a place in the Nations League Final Four with a 2-0 win away to Hungary, thanks to goals by Giacomo Raspadori and Federico Di Marco. Now, the European champions finished top of their table and their group on 11 points from 6 games, and they joined Croatia and the Netherlands in next year's finals tournament. This while Spain and Portugal will play in Braga tonight for the last spot that is available. Elsewhere, England and Germany play to an entertaining 3-all draw. England fighting back from being 2-0 down to lead 3-2, only for Kai Havertz to level with his second goal of the match after Luke Shaw, Raheem Sterling and Mason Mount all found the back of the net for the hosts. In cricket news, England's women captain, Heather Knight, accused India of lying about giving tail-ender Charlie Dean warnings before her controversial run-out in the 3rd one-day international between the sides. The home side was chasing victory at Lord's on Sunday when India bowler Deepti Sharma dismissed Dean, who was well out of her ground. Now, running out a non-striker backing up is allowed in the cricketing rules, but has long been regarded as being unsporting by many in the game. Deepti said Monday that India had repeatedly warned Dean for stealing ground by backing up and was adamant that they had done nothing wrong. In the world of boxing, WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury has called off his proposed Battle of Britain bout against Anthony Joshua, saying the compatriot had not signed the contract before Monday's deadline. Now, Fury had challenged Joshua earlier on in this month, saying that he would come out of retirement to defend his title in December, a challenge that Joshua accepted. Now, Joshua's 258 management and promoter Matchroom Boxing had said they had accepted all the terms presented to us by Fury's team, but agreed to halt all communications due to the death of Queen Elizabeth. Fury said he would still fight on the 3rd of December if Joshua's fight fell through. Now, from the world of athletics, world record holder and twice London Marathon champion Brigid Kosgei has been forced to withdraw from Sunday's race due to a minor hamstring injury. Kosgei, who won the London Marathon in 2019 and in 2020, was one of the favourites going into the event. She also won the Tokyo Marathon earlier this year after a silver medal at the Olympic Games last year. Kosgei set a world record time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 4 seconds in Chicago in 2019, and we do wish her a speedy recovery. Well, that's all from the sporting world on this Tuesday morning. Let's one more time take a look at what's happening out on the roads as we get you ready to get to work.
Thank you, Kat. And let's take a look at your roads, starting off in Cape Town in the Western Cape. There's congestion on the N2 inbound at Jakes Gerwel Drive. You can expect delays. If you're in Newlands in KwaZulu-Natal, there are roadworks southbound of the ramp from Queen Nandi Drive. The left lane is closed, so please drive carefully. Then moving to Johannesburg in Sandton, there's a vehicle that's broken down on the N3 southbound before the Marlborough off-ramp. Now, that right lane have been affected. Please make sure you drive carefully. And that's where I leave your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. And we start with news from the US Space Agency, who is pulling its Artemis 1 moon rocket off the launching pad in Florida because of an approaching hurricane. The Space Launch System vehicle will be rolled out back into its engineering workshop. This because Hurricane Ian is moving through the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to make landfall in Florida on Thursday. In Florida, residents are stockpiling supplies and filling sandbags. High winds and heavy rain is the forecast for the Kennedy Space Center, and NASA can't risk its multi-billion-dollar rocket being damaged. NASA had hoped the storm's track through the Gulf would take it sufficiently westwards for the rocket to stay out on the pad, enabling a liftoff to take place sooner. But the forecast in recent hours has put the west coast of Florida directly in the firing line. Florida governor has said that already has declared a state of emergency. Now, Artemis 1 is the first in a series of missions that will eventually see humans return to the lunar surface after an absence of 50 years. Now, for our final update this morning, taking a look at those gorgeous sunrise views that you share with us, let's kick it off with Nancy Govender from Pennington, sharing this one on her usual morning walk, enjoying the beach and the sunrise as well as that fresh air. Then Karen and Peter from Belito captured this beautiful photo in their front garden, watching the sun through the trees radiating on the lawn. Absolutely stunning. Desiree from Pietermaritzburg shared this spectacular view of all the tall trees swaying in the wind with the sun lighting up the fluffy clouds. And then last but not least, in fact, we have a few more to show you. Dudley shared this photo of the dazzling colors reflecting over the water, bringing a mirror from Woodbridge Island in Milnerton. What a beautiful way to start off your day. Thank you for that picture, Dudley. Well, make sure to share those beautiful sunrise views. You can do photos as well as boomerangs or time lapses and videos. Share it with us on WhatsApp. That number is 063 408 8863. But let's get into your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 14 and a high of 32 can be expected. Mbombela 19 and a high of 29. Pretoria 19, 32. Johannesburg 15 with a high of 30. If you're in Mahikeng, 18 is your low, 34 your high. Klerksdorp 17 with a high of 34. Kimberley, your low is 16, your high 31. Bloemfontein 14, reaching a high of 30. Richards Bay 20, 27. Pietermaritzburg 17, 24. Rain can be expected in Durban, a low of 22, a high of 26. Mthatha 16 with some rain and a high of 22 for today. East London 18 with a high of 20. Cradock 14, reaching a high of 29. Rainy conditions in Gqeberha, your low is 17, your high 19. George 12 with a high of 20. Cape Town 10 with a high of 19. Worcester 6, 24. Sutherland 5 with a high of 20. And Uppington, your low is 17, your high 30 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thanks very, very much, Zoe. Now, I don't know if you know it, Tubbsy, but there's something fishy going on in the kitchen.
Tell us more.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
5 new faces are going to be fighting for a spot in the next round tonight on Colour Your Plate with Koo. Now, the contestants must create a balanced plate using the hero ingredient of the week.
Okay.
Pilchards.
Oh, okay.
Pilchards.
Okay, so is that 5 a day coming back, but like with a twist with that pilchards?
You know what I mean?
Okay, I know that I've heard this. You know, everyone's talking about this. Joining in the judging panel is reality TV star Rushta Musaji. She is better known as Rushtush on social media. We love her. Be inspired by tonight's contestants. I think it's going to be a beautiful one. They're going to have those creations that will certainly inspire you. And you stand the chance while you be inspired to win a seat at the finale table and on the judging panel. panel.
How exciting
which is so cool.
that? Yeah. And so to enter, watch the weekly challenge on the show tonight and then cook up a nutritious meal using Koo's hero ingredient. Then head on over to Koo's social media channels and post your photo and the meal description, and of course that hashtag color your plate with Koo in the comments of the competition post.
And make sure not to miss tonight's episode, 7 p.m. for Inspiration Plus, to see who makes it through to the next round of the competition. It's getting tough. It's getting hot in the kitchen. And if you wanted to take a sneak peek, watch this.
This Tuesday evening at 7 on Color Your Plate with Koo, 5 new faces enter the kitchen to fight for a spot in the next round. But they'll have to fish for the judges' approval to make it through.
No more extra stuff.
Oh, no. Joining the panel is reality TV star and fitness mogul, Rusta Musaji.
It's definitely something on my cooking agenda.
Makes me nervous.
You have 10 minutes left.
That's Color Your Plate with Koo, Tuesday evenings at 7, only on SABC2.
Tropica is back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. All the stars will be competing to win big, and so can you. Simply buy a Tropica promo pack, follow the details, and enter for a chance to win your share of thousands of smooth prizes.
The more you buy, the more chances you stand to win.
Catch the All-Star Season of Tropica Island of Treasure on Saturdays at 6:30 on SABC3.
Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge. It's a Tuesday morning. Thank you very much for choosing to spend your time with us. We are entering the last 45 minutes of the show, but the excitement continues.
And we're still getting inspired. Joanne Joseph, who we were just saying earlier on, I mean, is practically one of the most iconic personalities from our radios and our TV screens. And Gutle's out in Johannesburg, catching up with her book, Children of Sugarcane.
Absolutely.
It's a hit. Check this out.
And we're back, coming to you live from Johannesburg. Igama lami nguKuhle Adams. Namhlanje, we have the honor of starting the morning with South Africa's most pristine radio and TV personality, Joanne Joseph. Earlier on, we got to know her and the experience in the media space for over 25 years. And now we're about to delve into her second offering, Children of Sugarcane. Joanne, let's get into it. What is Children of Sugarcane all about, and what inspired you to write the book?
So the book is about an indentured labourer who came to South Africa in the 1870s. You might know that at that time, during British colonisation in both India and what was then Port Natal, they brought a number of Indian people over to this country, just over 152,000 people between the years 1860 and 1911. And they laboured in various British enterprises here, including the sugarcane fields, on the Natal government railways and so forth. And so this is the story, a fictional story of a young woman woman who, at the age of 14, decides to escape an arranged marriage in India to come to South Africa and take up indenture here.
You've mentioned that the book was inspired by your great-grandmother. How did you manage to put yourself in the shoes of a rural woman back in the 1800s?
So we knew nothing about my great-grandmother at the beginning. I mean, this was my maternal great-grandmother. My mother had very little information about her. We had a little snapshot, a headshot of her, and that was about it. And that was what stimulated me to start the search for her, so that I could give my daughter a greater sense of who she was and what she had actually done with her life here as an indentured labourer in South Africa. And so that's how the story came about. And of course, it required quite a lot of research to find out what life was like, both in rural India, but also in colonial Natal, which looked quite different to what we now know as KwaZulu-Natal.
The subject matter of the book is also entangled with your own history. How did you manage to navigate the emotions that came with the writing of the story?
It was quite a difficult story to write. It took me 9 years. I mean, that's partly because historical fiction is such a difficult genre in which to write. Well, so it was for me anyway. But you're also processing all kinds of brutalities and atrocities that took place during colonization 160 years ago. And that is quite difficult. What is most searing about it is that you are reminded all the time that this happened to real human beings. And when you process that information from the textbooks and you remold it into a narrative, you're all too aware that this is what your ancestors suffered. Real people went through these atrocities and the hardship around them, and they survived them. And there's something quite miraculous about that. So it was a difficult text to write. And at times when it became too emotionally difficult, I walked away from it and then walked back towards it later on when I was stronger. And that's how I ended up with the text in its current form.
Why was it important for you to turn the fact into fiction?
But the reason I decided fiction was the genre in which I was going to write was because I just couldn't gather enough information about my great-grandmother. So it might have been a non-fiction book had I known what actually happened in her life. But I mean, I see her arrive in the archives. She's there on the Laurel Madras in 1884 with her younger siblings. She's 21 or 22 years old. She is sent to work with her siblings on the Natal Government Railways, and then she disappears for 30 years and reappears 30 years later in a textbook in which she has accomplished quite a number of things. But that meant that there was a massive gap in her life that I just could not fill, other than to fictionalize the story and to bring her story together with the stories of several other indentured women and make my protagonist, Shanti, a kind of receptacle for all those amazing stories.
You spent 9 years writing this book, going back to it and revisiting the text to change certain things and details. Are you ultimately happy with how it turned out?
I don't think I can ever be happy. I was doing a reading last night in which I read an extract of the book and I thought, oh, this needed one more edit, but I think I'll never be satisfied. What I am satisfied with is that in some way it has managed to center the conversation around indenture in the country. So hopefully it's doing the work of informing people about a part of our history that we didn't really know much about. And it is, many people who engage the book are saying to me, gosh, why didn't I know? And it's because the information hasn't been easily accessible to us. We've got a lot of historical record in terms of indenture, but it hasn't made its way into fiction very widely yet. And the previous writers around indenture have really struggled to inject their literature into the mainstream South African canon.
We know that you are representing South Africa at the Gothenburg Book Fair in Sweden. Please tell us more about the event and what you'll be doing there.
I'm looking forward to it, Kuhle, but I'm going to have to pull out the winter woolies again because the temperatures are sort of between 14 and 17 degrees every day. Those are not pleasant temperatures for a former Durbanite, but I'm sure I'll survive. But I'm going with an amazing group of artists, writers, poets, and so forth. And I think it's going to be really inspiring to travel with them, to put South Africa on the world stage. The theme is South Africa this year. So we're looking at South African literature in detail, very microscopically, There are going to be lots of exciting sessions where we get to talk about our country, our literary heritage, its cultures, you know, how we are going about telling those stories. So I'm really looking forward to that interaction with the Swedes.
That sounds really exciting, because one thing about South Africa, we are rich in history, heritage, tradition, and culture. There are so many stories to tell. Well, Joanne is not going anywhere, because after this, she will be sharing some of her favorite vegetarian recipes with us right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Ningayindao, so dibana shortly.
Thank you very much, Kutle Adams. And one thing that we are also rich in this beautiful country of ours is talent. We have it in truckloads. And she's young, a powerful voice commanding global attention. I'm talking about Andrea Fortuyn, who joins us this morning. And she does so with another performance right now, Lady Gaga's Always Remember Us This Way.
Arizona sky burning in your eyes. You look at me and babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. So when the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we try. But all I really know, you're where I wanna go. The part of me that you will never die. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. So when the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be just a memory, baby. Ooh, ooh, so when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. So when the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. When you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah.
Oh my word! Listen, listen. I hope you are listening at home. That is absolutely stunning.
Thank you so much, man.
Wow, I've got goosebumps all over, and I'm sure that you do at home as well. I hope that you enjoyed that. You know, as you were singing that, I was thinking to myself, with such an incredible talent, the world is your oyster, the world is at your feet. If you had like a list, I don't know if you've maybe even put together a list of people that you would love to work with, whether they are fellow artists that you'd like to collaborate with, producers, writers. Do you have like a wish list like that of people that you would love to work with?
I would love to work with Black Coffee. That's one of the people I really want to work with. I've been saying it, Black Coffee is the one.
Well, you know, things do sometimes happen when you've
Yeah.
been on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So I'm just saying, on behalf of the nation, Grootman, Black Coffee, please, do the right thing. Just fagi beat, fagi rotation, kuzwabnand. Listen, absolutely stunning stuff.
Thank you.
Let us know what you thought about that performance. And luckily for you, we have one more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Don't go anywhere.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on S3. Are you hydrated, feeling good?
I feel like I need to, especially after that performance. It's got me like on another level. Andrea is something really, really special, eh?
She is. Very, very talented.
And I'm still saying, Black Coffee, make it happen.
Definitely. Well, Kuchle is coming to us live from Johannesburg, and I think it's time we catch up with her one last time.
Let's do that.
We are coming to you live from Johannesburg this morning, starting off the day with one of South Africa's most incredible radio and television broadcasters. And right now we are joined by her dearest friend, the owner and founder of the restaurant that we are currently in, Olives and Plates. We're about to get into this Mediterranean-style cuisine, and she's going to take us through how she spices up, you know, her vegetarian recipes. Andrea, Neofitu, and of course, Joanne. Good morning, Andrea.
Could I have to bring you here because this is absolutely one of my favorite places to eat in Johannesburg, and in fact in the country, I have to say. And I think you might know that I'm vegetarian. So Andrea, who's a really good friend, makes the most divine vegetarian food, and I wanted you to have a taste of this incredible food that she prepares with such love.
The spread looks absolutely divine and it smells amazing. I have to ask Andrea, when did your relationship with Joanne start?
Joanne, I've met here at Olives and Plates Hyde Park, and I must say I was very lucky to have met her, and the way she just loved the food and enjoyed the vegetarian aspect of our harvest table. I mean, to me it meant a lot more because she's a public person, and you know, coming from her, I felt you know, honored by it.
Talk to us about Olives and Plates. When was it established?
So Olives and Plates was established many years ago, about 25 years ago. We started off in a catering and in the institutions, where we did Wits universities and a lot of the corporates. A little site came available at Wits University on the main campus, which is a Cape Dutch building, and they offered it to us to open a restaurant. The tender process started happening, and I wasn't quite keen. I thought, geez, good life, you know, canteens, institutions, no weekends. Do I really want to do a restaurant? I thought, no. Let's just put a basic tender together and let's see how it goes. And then it was granted to us, fortunately, I think. And that's where the restaurant Olives and Plates was born.
And 25 years later, it has grown so much because it is packed this morning. Joanne, you are a vegetarian. What inspired you to follow that lifestyle?
So my mom is a fantastic cook, and one thing she has in common with Andrea is that the main ingredient they cook with is love. And you'll taste that in all of this food. So my mom was an incredible cook, and I've always just had a love for vegetarian food, so it was natural to become vegetarian. But I also want to talk you through some of these dishes. Andrea's actually kindly put out my favorite things to eat when I come to Olives and Plates. And Andrea, what do we start with here? You've got bocconcini with basil pesto, so fresh.
So that's like a caprese that I've kind of deconstructed, and for me, using fresh herbs it's what makes it so flavorful and keeping it so real to what the product is. And I always say you can only cook as good as your produce.
It's beautiful. This is spanakopita, right? What does that translate to in English?
Spanakopita is a spinach and feta pillow pie. This is honestly my mom's recipe, through and through, and her cooking was all about love and nurturing her family and having us all together and just embracing us. And I think that's what I'm doing in my restaurant. This is hummus, but I've just taken a twist to it and made it into a beetroot hummus.
This is super healthy.
It's a sweetness in it, super healthy to add like this. In fact, all of them are.
So Andrea, I'm also obsessed with rice. I love rice because coming from the Indian tradition of cuisine, we eat rice all the time. So dolmades is actually one of my absolute favorite dishes.
What is it?
So it's a bindi that we wrapped into this savory pilaf, which is the rice, and then it just slow cooked for a couple of hours because the leaf needs to tenderize into and give the flavor. So you get this vine leaf that comes out into the rice. It's absolutely delicious.
And aubergines. Oh, I adore aubergines as well.
Aubergines are not for everybody. It's a bit of an acquired taste. But I think I've had a lot of clients say, let me just, no, I wouldn't want. Then I said, no, I'll give you one complimentary. And I think I just sold them over. They just absolutely love this dish. It is delicious. And you don't just taste that aubergine. It's all the flavors. It's the tahini, it's the labna, it's the pomegranate, it's all the fine herbs. And then you've got the dukkha spice, which gives you a crunch.
The spread looks so divine. It smells delicious. And it translates beautifully on the plate as well. I mean, this is stunning. I see this one is also very colorful, flavorful as well. What is this bowl over here?
It's marinated artichokes. An artichoke's so delicious. So all you're trying to do is just enhance it with a good olive oil, nice herbs, and just keeping and cooking it to perfection. Nothing more to it.
Ladies, I am committing to trying every single thing on the plate this morning, so I'm about to dig in, okay? Now, you at home, I'm pretty sure that you've enjoyed our conversations today. Make sure to hit us up on our social media platforms. Let us know if you are vegetarian and what are some of your favorite vegetarian dishes. Perhaps you share something in common with Andrea and Joanne. From myself, Ukuhle Adams, coming to you live from Johannesburg. It's been a beautiful morning. Mwah. Have a great day.
Thanks very much, Kutle Adams. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day out there in Johannesburg. But of course, Tropica Island of Treasure is back on your screens with an all-star season on S3. And what a thrilling start it has been already to the season. We've celebrated and we've seen everyone getting involved in some of the actions. And of course, the home challenges as well, where you stand a chance to win some smooth prizes. Now, of course, for the competitors on the show, there is a case of a smooth shared 1 million rand.
I mean, Sabawell.
Plus 250,000 rand worth of Suzuki products for each of the team members, right? Now, this week's challenge, you might have seen it already. It's the hashtag Tropica Bottle Table Roll Challenge. Take a look at this video at how it's done, because we are challenging you to do it at home. this was. We're not playing small here. There's big prizes to be won, so you got to do it well. So listen, yesterday, Zoe and I tried it, right? And it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's fun. I'll tell you that much, right?
So that's what you guys did.
Yes, exactly. So the object of the game is you're meant to roll the Tropica such that it pauses right here.
How will it know
between?
What to pause? Is this thing going to be tight enough?
Tell it. You say,
Like,
hey.
Hi, how will it pause?
No, there's enough space. You've got to give it enough momentum so that it rolls and then... Okay, so Andrea, you're going to go first?
You're young. You're a lady.
Okay.
Ladies first.
All right,
young
cool.
ladies
So
first.
let's see how you do with this.
I want to see this.
Okay.
So who won?
This is you trying it out at home. No, both of us didn't get it right, but with practice. Okay, go, Andrea.
Yeah. And these can be so much
fun.
fun.
Roll.
Can I put it down and then
Of course, whatever technique you want to use, go. Okay. And the roll is on. Oh,
okay, so it actually does pause
Tabzi,
somewhere.
your
Okay,
attempt.
cool.
Go ahead, let's see how you do.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Oh, that's terrible. That's shocking. Okay, Andrea?
At least it went in a straight line.
So terrible. At least it went in a straight line. Okay. Andrea, just think about it. Be the bottle.
Okay.
Be one with the bottle.
Give it enough. Oh, there we go.
Close.
Tabzi,
Close.
go. Okay, last round. No. You must start here by the Tropica. Start here. Please,
do it like Ali.
Exactly. Oh, that was close. Okay, Andrea, your last shot.
Close.
Your last shot.
So close.
Let's see how you do. Okay. Aim. Oh, this is looking good.
That was really close.
All right, wow.
Okay, Annie.
So you see how much fun it is. Now, you only have this week left to enter for that cash prize of 1,000 Rand. So go and get your bottle of Tropica and enter the competition. All you need to do is to recreate this week's hashtag Tropica Bottle Table Roll Challenge on the Tropica social media pages. Then share your video on social media tagging @mytropica and hashtag Tropica as well. Entries close at midnight on the 1st of October and T's and C's apply. The winner will be selected and contacted via Tropica social media pages. Now, this Saturday, make sure that you catch your favorite All-Stars on S3 with a brand new episode airing at 6 p.m. And this is your opportunity to see if your favorite All-Star gets to stay or if they have to leave the island.
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite? I don't have favorites. Nah, I'm here. I'm here for everybody. Look.
Yeah.
Ding.
After all of the practice from last night, come on, Cash.
This week on Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars, our smooth teams take part in our first ever squad games. Even though there's only one grand prize, the contestants must band together with friends and enemies to get one step closer to that ultimate goal. The games test their teamwork and their loyalty to one another in the most fun ways. That's Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars this Saturday at 6:30, only on S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this beautiful Tuesday. Thanks for choosing us this morning. Well, we're continuing to highlight those local authors this Heritage Month who do such incredible work that we connect with. And we're now joined by author Mzwamadoda Mfimbeli, who comes all the way from Ekabe GQ Stand Up. This one is for you. And he sits with us to chat all about his latest edition of his book titled The Dream City. It's a book that really is all about walking the path. It aims to walk the path with young readers to really just guide them towards social and environmental responsibility. So much to learn from this story. Butwa, welcome. It's so good to have you.
Thank you so much, Brad. I'm also honored to be here.
This is the first edition of the book. Well, this is not the first edition. The first edition was actually published in 2018.
That's
and you've
correct.
come back now. Where does the inspiration come from?
I started the Dream City in 2018. After actually I was coming from the college, right? And then I saw a newspaper, and then in the newspaper there was a crisis of 5.25 trillion plastic in the ocean. And then I was like, no, man, I don't believe this. Let me go dig up and find some research. And then I found out, actually, yes, it's true. There is a lot of pollution that is happening around out there.
Even be more.
Exactly, even be more now. So that's where it started.
It started there, and it's grown so much since then. I know that the subject of environmental responsibility is one that's very close to your heart. It seemingly is very close to your heart, because if you're coming back with a second edition to the book, but also have so much more that you get involved in outside of the books, it must mean that this is something so important to you. Has this always been the case?
Yes, it has always been the case, because remember that pollution is one of the issues, like the global issues in the whole entire country. And the Dream City book is a series book. So it's going to have like part 1, part 2, part 3. So it depends, or it deals with different issues. For example, the first edition deals more on pollution, and then on water pollution, on land pollution. And then the second edition, it more focuses on the clothing, which means the fast fashion pollution.
Okay. You are the right man to be speaking about fashion and how fashion can maybe save us as opposed to kill us in this instance. But Mzwa, how do you do this? You are such a genius to be able to take matters of such great importance and be able to sort of distill them and put them in books like this and educate children. I mean, it must take a lot. Where do you even begin with that?
Yeah, I love kids also as well. And looking at kids, how they think and how they do things. So, and they love color. So that's where the inspiration comes from.
What issues does this second issue tackle? How have you departed from that first edition?
The second one, the second edition, The Dream City, deals with more on fast fashion pollution. So even if you can see also the inspiration of the graphics from Macross Africa, so that's where now inspiration comes from. And then looking into the brand, what it represents, and then looking into the fashion, what is happening now. There's a lot of littering, and there's a lot of clothing that is running around in the landfills and all that. So that's where the second one is focused.
Well, some of the biggest polluters we don't even know are the biggest culprits.
Exactly.
Right? And I like that you are teaching children, but I think parents and everyone at the same time in this process. You wanted to share more about your plans for this initiative. I know that you really have your eyes set on some huge, major goals. What's next?
For now, actually, I want to donate 1,000 books, digital copies, to every Expresso listener is going to have got a copy. Just email me and then I will send the copy.
I love that.
And the second part is that I want the book to partner with Meta, which means with the Facebook, so that it be able to be free download all over the world, globally. So I'm working on that now.
Mzwamadoda, you want this information to reach the people, and you've made this very clear. Your work speaks for itself, and 1,000 copies digitally will be made available to you at home, our Expresso viewers. All you have to do is go onto our social media pages. That information is available there. I think this is an incredible resource, and I think there's a lot that our children out there can learn from this. But Mzwamadoda, thank you so much for joining us. You are an absolute star, and I wish you all of the best with this initiative.
Thank you so much.
Please put it here. Yeah. Sure. Dream City.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Tubbsy. Well, listen, when it comes to finding the perfect balance between nutritious and delicious meals, it can be a little bit of a challenge. But with Cross and Blackwell's trim offering, this is a complete game changer. Now, gone are the days of dull salads and dry, flavorless rice crackers. Cross and Blackwell's health range, accredited by the Heart and Stroke Foundation, is here to really embrace a healthier lifestyle without ever having to compromise on flavor. Now, Nondomiso, she is here to show us how to put together our own twist on a classic sushi bowl, and we are going to make our own vegan sushi bowl.
Yes.
I love this.
Exciting. Yes, okay, so I'm going to start off by marinating our tofu with some soy sauce.
And that's always a go-to.
Right?
Soy sauce.
Adds so much flavor to a dish. Sesame oil and some ginger and garlic.
Oh, now you want a combination.
Yeah, you want to marinate this for about 10 minutes, but of course if you can leave it for longer, then it's actually even better.
It will just absorb more flavor.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to fry these, and in the meantime, do you want to start cutting that avo for us so you can prepare our bowl for us?
That, and our avo is just going to be like little slices like they serve in the restaurant.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, you can always play around with it. That's the beautiful thing about food, is that you can just play around and make the recipe your own.
Oh. Now, the great thing about the vegan bowl or any sushi bowl is the fresh components and, of course, that delicious, sauce that comes with it, that drizzle of mayo. Of course, we are going to be using our Cross and Blackwell, and this is a product that is completely egg-free, and because it's part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, it's also low fat. It has less than 2 grams of fat per serving, and like I mentioned, it is egg-free, which means it's vegan-friendly, and it's got a creamy, smooth, low tanginess, and it's pourable, so it's really great for toppings and dips like we're about to show you today.
Yeah, and it's such a great way to really make your plant-based meals more tasty, and therefore, you know, it might actually lead you to eat more plant-based, I guess, if you're able to use these healthy condiments that are low in carbs and also plant-based, I guess.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I've got our rice bowl here. I've got some of our avo. I feel like you are going to take the lead on this and telling me where to place what.
No, it's quite simple. So do you want to do that for us? We're going to put our julienne veggies on there, just layer them.
So I'm just going to layer them.
Right? So it's going to look beautiful either way, because you can never really go wrong with veggies. They're bright, they're beautiful, they're always going to make a dish look stunning. Okay, so we've got some carrots, we've got some pickled ginger, which you're also going to place nicely and strategically onto the bowl.
I feel like when you eat bowl food, you need to pay attention to the placement. It's all about eating with color, eating with your eyes.
Eating with your eyes first, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit of ginger.
Ginger. You can use a spoon.
Use that spoon for us.
Yeah, and then of course we're going to, I'm in the meantime frying our tofu. You want to just fry it on either side until it browns, it becomes crispy, and we're going to then top that off with our delicious tofu, and of course drizzle some of that delicious trim vegan mayo.
Oh, there we go, and we are using our Cross and Blackwell. I'm going to just use the spoon and do a little bit of a dollop. Like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Great dollop. Oh, fantastic. Well, if you want to get your hands on our sushi bowl, do check out our website, expressoshow.com. We've got the steps to how to make your own marinade for your tofu, and everything's there. So it's going to be fantastic to make a delicious vegan bowl for the family. And I mean, for someone that's also, you know, allergic to seafood, this is a great alternative to not feel like you're missing out when everyone else is having sushi.
Yes, 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 exactly.
Oh, well, Nondomiso, while you finish that up, you can reimagine food with Cross and Blackwell and stand a chance to win. Now, there are 4 more hampers up for grabs leading up to that grand prize draw, where 3 lucky viewers will win an Instant Pot Duo crisp air fryer to the value of 5,000 Rand each. Now, today's 2 lucky viewers stand the chance to win an Mayo Amazing C&B hamper valued at 500 Rand each. Now, to enter, simply take inspiration from today's recipe and add your unique twist using C&B Mayo. Now reply to the competition and post and use that tag at Cross and Blackwell's Facebook or Instagram pages with a snap of your reimagined dish, and you can use that hashtag something for everyone or post it on your very own social media pages, and don't forget to tag at Crosswell and Blackwell and Cross and Blackwell. And don't forget that hashtag something for everyone. Now also don't forget to follow the pages to win. The competition will close at midday on Thursday, so you've got 2 days to enter. That's the 29th of September. There are some T's and C's that can be found on the competition post, and if you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, we have it available on our website at expressoshow.com. You're just going to add more of that tofu, the crispy. How do you wait for the tofu to be crispy?
Yes, preferably.
Is that when your tofu's ready?
Yeah, yes. So crispy on each of the sides.
Okay, on all of the sides, that's when you know your tofu is ready and is ready to be served.
Yes.
Oh, Nono miso, this is a good recipe. I love the way we've done it, but I'm someone that's a sucker for a lot of sauce. So I think I'm just going to add a little dollop extra.
Yes, of course.
Of
Go
our Cross
ahead.
and Blackwell.
Delicious.
There we go. Well, the recipe is available for you if you want to recreate this, and don't forget that amazing competition. It's available on expressoshow.com.
Eating healthy doesn't have to be restrictive, dull, and boring. Reimagine your everyday healthy meals with Cross and Blackwell trim. It's tasty, vegan-friendly, and less than 2 grams fat per serve.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's been a beautiful Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for choosing to spend the day with us. And we've got music that keeps on giving. This morning, we've got Andrea Fortain in the studio. She's doing incredible things with her career. Do check her out on social media. But she's about to give us one last performance, a song called Unstoppable.
I know just where I'm going, and I know just what I want. I gotta show you what I'm made of. They're gonna tell you you're not perfect, but baby girl, you're worth it. Keep your head in the clouds and never look down. Gotta figure it out. Don't shake that crown. Been waiting so long. Time's made me strong. That's why I'm singing this song. Don't let nobody tear you down, down, down. Shake you to the ground, ground, ground. Gonna keep on living now, now, now. Don't let nobody tear you down, down, down. Or shake you to the ground, ground, ground. Gonna keep on living now. keep on elevating, yeah. 'Cause this time, all that I wanted was there all along, as close as the beat of my heart. It's what I've been waiting for. It's only just the start. No, I'm not afraid no more. Keep your head in the clouds and never look down. Gotta figure it out. Don't shake that crown. Been waiting so long. Time's made me strong. That's why I'm singing the song. Don't let nobody tear you down, down, down. Shake it to the ground, ground, ground. Gonna keep on living now, now, now. Don't let nobody tear you down, down, down. Shake it to the ground, ground, ground. Gonna keep on living now, now, now. Don't let nobody, yeah, yeah. 'Cause this time I am, I will, I can. This time I am, I will, I can. Whoa, yeah. Don't you let nobody, yeah. Don't let nobody tear you down, down, down. Shake it to the ground, ground, ground. Gonna keep on living now, now, now. Don't let nobody, yeah. Hey. Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Oh, take a bow. Andrea Fortain, wonderful talent, absolutely brilliant. And she did put it out into the universe that she'd love to work with Black Coffee. And so I hope that this finds its way somewhere to Black Coffee's timeline and make it happen. I think it would be an awesome collaboration. Well done.
I can hear that collaboration.
Well done.
I can
well
hear
done.
it. That's absolutely incredible.
Wow. Hey, speaking of extraordinary South Africans doing extraordinary things like Andrea, do you guys remember the name Jermaine Sioposenwe?
That's the lady.
Yes,
who played for the SA national team.
Banyana. Yes,
yeah.
she's the striker, one of the strikers in the team. She's been doing amazing. So she's playing for a team called FC Juarez Femenil in the Mexico League, right?
Wow.
And she's made history in their most recent game by scoring the fastest goal in the history of the league in 8 seconds. But she also put a blinder past the keeper to secure the third goal. Take a look at this very quickly. We actually got footage on Twitter. Look at that strike. If we could, I mean, they're going crazy.
I missed it. It was so quick.
It was so quick. She's got, look at that. So, oh my word, a curler. Into, like, that's what you call like top pins, mate. Top pins, doing amazing things.
Where you just go, Hota!
Well done, Jermaine Sioposenwe. Super proud of you. Keep representing us well. And speaking of representing us well, none other than Ryle De Morne is taking part in the Life-Saving World Championships in Italy. Roma, his event is today, so we want to wish him all of the best, Ryle boy. Do us proud. Have fun out there.
Show him love on his social media page. They wish him well. Well done for getting into it.
Absolutely.
Riley, we'll see you on tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's what we do. Tomorrow, daily. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye.
This spring, here's to Mother Nature and all the other mums who bring wonders into our world. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good